There's a guy ringside watching this fight tonight who comes to attack Triple G.
Yo lo invité a que subiera.
I invited him to come to the ring.
You invited him to the ring? Why?
Yo lo invité a que subiera. Como decimos en México, hay que dejarnos de mamadas. No hay que... Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I invited him into the ring, and like we say in Mexico, we don't fuck around. We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
Gracias a toda la gente. ¡Viva México!
Sorry. Welcome everyone to the 50th edition of the Next Big Pod. Professional as always. This episode, just before we begin, is dedicated to Canelo, who will fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. Joined today by Andy Pops, Brian, back from the dead, Cal, and Corpy, and we might have Alex on later after an extended break from, I think, all podcasts. I don't think he's been on the Asylum either for like a month or so, but he might be on a bit later. Got quite a lot to get through tonight. Guys, do you have anything to say? I was going to do Ainsley's eulogy to kick us off, because just to explain why he's absent, unless any of you want to jump in and say anything at the beginning.
Go ahead.
Right. So last week I mistakenly took something Cal sent to be Ainsley's eulogy, just off the top, made it up out of thin air. But as a response, Ainsley actually did write a eulogy. He's sort of taking a break from the sport, or at least taking a break from being actively involved in the pod. I'm sure he'll still keep up with news and stuff. So he's written a sort of, I guess it's the type of letter or the type of note you usually find in a mental asylum inside a cell, written in shit. That's the best way I could describe it. It's called The Last Words of a Raging Man. Over the past 6 months, I've ensured to try and call out promoters, trainers, and boxers alike on their bullshit. A new era of amateur accountant fans, egotistical promoters, managers, and trainers, and a breed of fans who will accept any old shite has been a constant reminder the battle is not an easy one. As my hordes of fans will know, I do not accept this newfound attitude within boxing, and I never fail to express my displeasure with it. Unfortunately, the constant battle against this new evil has taken its toll on this once happy-go-lucky chap. The sport I see now rarely resembles the era of boxing that got me hooked. Edward Cornelius Hearn is turning the sport into a farce and a joke. His negative impact cannot be overstated. I implore my fans to continue this, whereas now I am on the path to enlightenment. I would like to take the time to thank Brian for allowing me to bask in his glory and fame, as well as the rest of the MVP Society, with one exception. I leave you all beaten but not broken, and my legacy of the Tesco Joe moniker will outlive us all. Godspeed and good luck, Reginald P. Ainsworth. Okay, so we'll have a brief
applause or a
brief applause for Ainsworth.
That was beautiful.
Very well written. We hope he'll be back at some stage, maybe
next week.
I'm not sure he'll be back that soon. I think it might be sort of autumn time, because I don't think the Joshua fight will bring him back, will it? It's not interesting enough.
If Heyday doesn't bring him back, nothing will.
Exactly. Maybe he'll be back if Golovkin and Canelo do eventually fight in.
I think Ward Kovalev might bring him back.
Yeah, when's that going to be? November or something, right?
Maybe November, I think.
Might do him well.
End of the year.
6-month break might do him well. But anyway, we've got loads to get through tonight, so I thought we'd kick off. I'll throw it to whoever wants to go. Sort of recent news, I suppose, since the weekend. We've had Povetkin and Wilder. Povetkin, I suppose actually that was last week, wasn't it? But for Povetkin failing a drug test, the fight's now postponed. Apparently, his team are now counter-suing Wilder's team for claiming that the fight is cancelled or some nonsense like that. Doesn't seem like it's going to be happening anytime soon. Bit of a shame. was going to be a highlight of this weekend. But has anyone got any thoughts on it? Has anyone actually done any sort of significant research into it? I know Pops is quite a big Sharapova fan, so he might know about this Melonium stuff. Andy? No?
No, we don't really want to talk about what the drug does because no one really gives a fuck about that. He's piss dirty, isn't he? So that's the end of the story, really. It's just a shame because it was a good fight. It was one of the better fights we would have seen this year. It would have given a proper number 2 in the division, given us some clarity about where the heavyweight division stands. It's just a shame to have lost it for something so stupid.
It would have been 2 5 fighting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, both top 5, aren't they? And it would have crowned
probably
a legitimate number 2.
Yeah, exactly. It would have definitely, the winner would have definitely been the number 2 behind Fury. Yeah. It's a shame. I mean, what's the fight we've got to look forward to the most now in heavyweight? Probably the rematch of Klitschko Fury, which is, the first fight was awful.
Yeah, it can't be no worse than the first one.
Yeah, that's true. Cal, what do you think? I know you have a lot of empathy with ginger boxers. So what do you think about Povetkin's?
I don't. I like Povetkin. I think it's just fucking boring. Like, these people have been taking it since day dot, this fucking drug. And it's only just been made illegal, and fair enough, yeah, something's been made illegal. But I think there should be some kind of like leading in process, not just bang, now it's illegal. If you've been using something in your training program for 6 years, and then suddenly say, oh, now that's illegal, it's going to take a bit of time to adjust to it. So
Cal, he passed tests before and then failed. So he's
been stupid. I'm just saying that he's been in his training program for however long. They're all fucking dodgy, these Eastern European guys anyway, and not just them. Like everyone's was it Vargas the other week ate the Spanish meat and he got off with it?
Yeah, but it was a very different. The substance that he tested positive for was completely different, and it's sort of known in Mexico that it can be contained in certain types of meat. And I think the case
with that kind of thing.
I think they probably said to Salido, "Do you want to go ahead with it?" And he went, "Yeah, fine, whatever. I'll still fight him." I think that's what probably.
Yeah, true.
Whereas Wilder, I think, would have been quite happy to, not saying he ducked Povetkin or anything, but I think he would have been quite happy to say, "Well, look, I really don't need to fight this guy if he's on drugs and it's in Russia." Like,
to be fair though, with Salido, he's going to throw about 100 fucking low blows, so it's probably evens it out, doesn't it?
And he's been popped before as well, so I mean, it's the level.
But the fight's done now. It'll probably not happen now. You'd say they're not going to be buzzing to get back in there. I wouldn't think if they can get away with not fighting him and still get some of their purse, they'll never get the whole fucking purse. That'd be ludicrous.
But they did have a cut-off point. It was the middle of March, so they were allowing people to get it out of their system. And the difference with Povetkin was he had 3 tests before that, passed them all, then failed the test in April. So basically what he's done is he's not been taking it, or he's been getting away with it. And
do you think he might have got a tip off Brian and thought, okay, because he had like 4 tests, didn't he? And then the 5th one he failed, so he might have thought,
Well, apparently, fucking his team weren't wanting VADA involved. They were fucking about for ages, no one, and that's how people didn't think this fight was going to happen because they kept refusing to have the VADA testing. But with the WBC rules now, they've brought that in, and they're now saying that everybody needs to be tested if you're going to fight with the WBC belt, which is a good thing. I mean, I hate fucking cheats, but with this, I don't think people really know how beneficial it is. I know people are telling you it can do this and it can do that, but at the same time, they're talking now that the Tennis Association might end up scrapping bans because they don't know how long it can be in your system for and how much it is. Like, I've read that somewhere says that people think it's a bit of placebo. They don't actually, they think that it's helping them, but it's not doing nothing for them. So I don't think they've done enough research on this fucking drug yet.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because I'm not really up to date on all this kind of stuff because I just don't really bother with it. But it's one of the main benefits, that it aids your breathing massively and it opens up your lungs and gives you a bigger capacity for air. Is that right?
I think that's one of the benefits, isn't it? I think that.
Well, if you're a fighter,
it's a stamina drug, isn't it?
If you're a fighter, that's going to be hugely beneficial.
I think it's basically the simplistic way of saying it is for boxers. It's like EPO for cyclists. That's the way they're kind of trying to simplify how it works. It gives you more stamina to get into the later rounds. So
Yes, so you can throw 500 more punches over 12 rounds. It's ridiculous. It amazes me how people don't see it as being as dangerous as like someone like Shannon Briggs who gets sort of really jacked up on drugs. When you think like you give a guy like I don't know Juan Diaz in his prime who threw 1,200 punches a fight, give him a load of drugs, he'll probably throw 2,000. It's absolutely mad. It's so dangerous to be able to.
See, the thing is, I'm totally against fucking like proper steroids, like human growth hormones and stuff that's going to fucking jack your muscles up and that and just make you an absolute But see, stuff like this is giving you more stamina and all that. Like EPO, I find it hard to fucking really shit on them. But I know it's giving you a bit of a performance enhancer, but really, who gives a fuck? I'm really against like proper fucking anabolic steroids, but I don't know. Like, see that stuff that Kid Galahad was doing. That's a weight cutter, but at the same time, it was
Jack 3D or whatever it was called.
Basically, they were. That's a weight cutter, but at the same time, it was like, so you could keep the muscle mass. So that's a fucking proper steroid. I know it's a PED, but I just fucking love them all together. But I don't know.
But that was his brother, though. It wasn't him. So.
Oh, it was his brother. Speak to me.
That's the main thing with it, though. It has to be every case is its own case, and it's just fucking. You can't just say blanket ban. That'd be ridiculous, especially when so many people will have used them in the past, and then they've got away with it because they hadn't used the proper fucking drug testing agencies, and some people are using the proper drug testing agencies and getting banned, while other people are using Rusada and they can't find anything, so they can carry on fighting or.
I just think if somebody
whatever the British one is.
If somebody gets caught taking HGH, it's a life ban. There is no excuse for taking something like that. That is an absolute fucking heavy duty steroid. So
I think it was actually one of the I gave in earlier and actually listened to the Hearn Q&A thing, and he made the one interesting point about where one of the questions submitted was about what he'd do if he found one of his fighters had been busted or whatever. And he said, well, obviously you've got to take it on a case-by-case basis, like you said, Cal, and I think that's right as well. And he said, and I'd ask them, what had happened, and I'd see if it had been a mistake or something. And then he went, well, yeah, but I suppose no fighter's ever going to actually admit it, are they? And he goes, yeah, I see what you mean. It would be a really, really hard decision. I think that's the point.
Well, some of them do, but they admit it after, don't they? Like Shane Mosley admitted a long time after.
Yeah, and then people almost said like, oh, he admitted it, so good for him. And it's like, no. Like he's just forgiven now, isn't he? Like no one ever says.
I know it's completely different, but even like Lance Armstrong, and it's because it's so long after people are like, oh, well, he was cheating then.
Yeah, but Armstrong, like people just wanted to see him forced to admit it. Do you know what I mean? Because there were so many people who knew he'd been doing it, but they just. Whereas I think with Mosley, if Mosley was still sort of denying it now, there'd probably be a real witch hunt against him to try and get him to confess. But anyway, I think we've got Tommy on the line. Tommy, if you can unmute yourself. Sorry, mate, muted you when you hopped on. Make the chat available. The group chat.
All right, lads. Can you hear me all right? Aye.
Yeah, mate, we can hear you.
All right.
You come on to say hello to Brian. Congratulate him on his show.
No, I just came on to talk to these, man. I thought maybe I could get you a few more views when you make an appearance,
Fuck off.
We didn't need any of your help, Ken.
Listen, man.
Tommy, mate, have you got any? Brian's going off to Ibiza soon, so I didn't know if you had any advice for him, seeing as you've just got back from Vegas. And
well, what I'd say to him was, man, I'd start off on the fiver, he's not just go right onto the tenner, because he's getting a bit older than that now, so. You get what I mean, Brian, mate?
I'm going to the ketamine, I don't need the fucking Ectos.
Right.
Okay. Tommy, we were just finishing up on Povetkin Wilder. I know you you guys on the Asylum, you did it at the weekend, didn't you? On Sunday.
Aye.
But we can move on to the next one, which we obviously did last night's news about Canelo vacating the WBC, and I know you've got sort of fairly strong feelings on it as a bit of a Canelo fan. So I don't know. What do you think of it? Do you think it will help negotiations, or is it a duck?
I wouldn't call it a duck. No, it's quite obvious. So it's happened here, right? Obviously the WBC I've set a deadline for Tuesday, and with the interim champion and the WBC champion, there's obviously a 55%, 45% cut off. So I don't think anybody here would say that's a realistic offer Golovkin to get 45% of the purse. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's prize fighting. That's what the sport is. So they're obviously going to negotiate another contract. I think the fight's going to take place. There's no doubt about it. Seen it in Canelo's eyes, that, and you can't fake that sort of fucking aggression.
He said that shite before. He said it fucking Cotto fight and all.
He fought Cotto.
Aye, exactly. He said it before Cotto. He'd take the fight, then he fought fucking.
Aye.
I mean,
they had the intern fight. That's fair enough, man. But September, that's it. I think the fight's going ahead, man. If he doesn't fight him, I'll be the first to call him out on it.
Do you think it'll be a non-title fight, or do you think all the titles will be on the line?
I don't know.
Canelo said he wouldn't fight for it again.
I'm not sure about the WBA title either, because they might enforce something that might hate to fight Jacobs and strip him. I'm not sure about that, but I don't think that fight needs a title. It's obviously a Ring Magazine title now, and it's going to be the true middleweight champion. So,
Tommy, do you not think? Obviously, this gives more cards to the Canelo side in terms of negotiations. But do you not think they might do the fucking oldest trick in the book and just price themselves out and say we want 80-20 or 85-15, and then it's Golovkin that pulls out negotiations. So they can half save face, and they're obviously offering something they know they can't get away with anyway.
Well, see 20%. I don't think that's actually out the ballpark of what you should get. I'd maybe say about 25-30%, but.
Yeah, 30 is fair, but I think 20 is a bit disrespectful for the guy that's the best in the division.
Probably 20 is a bit unfair. I'd say maybe about 25-30%. That's still going to get Triple G more than his highest paid, a lot more than that. So, but I think most people's concerns are the catch weight. He's going to ask for a catch weight. If he does that after what he sees.
He can't have it both ways. He can't have a fucking massive purse, no have any belts, and also want a catch weight. He can't have everything his own fucking weight. He has one or the other. He gets the majority of the money, or he gets a fucking catch weight and gives him some of the money. He can't have it all his own way. The big fucking ginger shite bag.
He can do exactly what he wants, eh?
No, he can't.
He's not that big a name.
No,
He's
not,
man. Come on. Think about what he's saying here, eh? Canelo is a massive A-side in this fight.
Right.
The fans are going to turn on him.
The fans, look, Mayweather done it for years. Did you tell me Mayweather when he done it? Come on now, man. And I'm not saying Canelo's fucking Mayweather, by the way, but he is a massive A-side in this fight.
Floyd wasn't mandated to fight him, and fucking dump belts to make sure that he didn't fight him, and turn around and say, I'm not a welterweight, I can't fight him, and fuck off to another division and make his division up.
Well, no, what Floyd done was slated catch weights for years, then tried to get Canelo to 147. That's what he tried to do. They'd fought him at 152.
I don't agree with catch weights, but see, at the same time, Canelo was at 154 and Floyd was at 147. They were two different divisions, whether we like it or not. See if it's a... So, but they shouldn't have fought. He champion. He should grow a fucking set of balls. He said 2 years. 2 years.
He fought Oscar at 154. He fought Oscar and Cotto at 154. Why not Canelo?
But I don't fucking give him credit for winning belts at 154.
Oh, come on. I think that's right.
That was Canelo's fault for doing that. Anyway, no one forced him to take 152. The fucking idiot. He said I'd fight Floyd at 152, so they called him on it, and he agreed to it. And now he used it as an excuse.
Wait a minute here. They asked to fight at 147. It was confirmed by fucking both trainers. Floyd Mayweather Senior and Canelo's trainer both confirmed that, and they ended up agreeing on 152. That's exactly what happened there.
Canelo and his fucking advisors, however, they done it was reported by Boxing Scene, I can remember it at the time, and says that they would go to 152 for the fight.
That's right.
So that's when it came into negotiations that fucking Mayweather and his team, they decided, right, well, you have already said this, so we'll hold you to that. You can come to 152 if you want to fight.
That's right, but they had already asked for 147 before that. It was confirmed by both trainers. If you go in Boxing Scene, you'll see the articles here on that as well.
Anyway, we ain't talking about that. That's not the fucking discussion, is it?
I've got a quick point. If we're talking about sort of Canelo being a bit greedy, I always feel I really didn't like Canelo when he first came on the scene. I thought he was just beating up smaller guys, and it was all.
It's exactly what he's still doing right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? And I thought, beating Alfonso Gomez, Mosley when he was 55 or whatever, Matthew Hatton, none of it, Josecito Lopez, none of it impressed me at all. I know he wanted to fight Williams and all this stuff, but even then, Williams was over the hill by then. And then he fought Trout and he fought Lara, and he gave them close fights, and then got pretty much shut out scorecards. Then he got then he got dominated by Floyd, and then he sort of gradually won me over. But now he's just like, I don't know, he's just being a knob again, and you can't. Every single promotional shot, he stood there. It's like Cotto with the WBC belt. Every promotional shot, they stood there with the belt on their shoulder. Then as soon as the sanctioning body says, well, you've got a mandatory now, they start moaning about being like prisoners to the belt. And it's like, you chose to fucking fight for it. You know, you were perfectly happy to pose with it when you were trying to sell the fight and get pay-per-view, pay-per-view sales up. And there's a quick stat I found on Twitter last night, which was that Canelo in his career had fought and won the WBC junior title, or whatever it's called, then the silver title, and then the full world title. Every single time it had been at a catch weight, and he'd never had a mandatory on any of the belts. And I don't think the junior has mandatories, but the silver or the full title, he'd never fought a mandatory. And now the first mandatory he gets, he ditches the belt and starts talking about being dictated to. You just think, the guy has had the red carpet in boxing since day one. Absolutely, he's had everything his own way, and now a mandatory comes along and says, "Oh, come on, mate, give me 40% or whatever it is," and he shits himself and drops the belt. It's pathetic.
See the thing with that shit. But he turns around and says that I'm not going to be hostage to fortune with regards to the belt. I'm going to get up because I'm not going to fucking have them dictate how I negotiate. He knew he was having to negotiate with Golovkin fucking months ago before he even made the Can fight. He knew. After he was mandated to fight him, they signed an agreement. I'm pretty sure that Tom Loeffler was on somewhere saying that contracts have been signed. He needs to fight Gennady next or vacate the belt. So no, that's fucking piss. I've got 15 days to negotiate. He's had to fucking, after beating Cotto, to negotiate this fight. So he's using a fucking. It's just, I don't give a fuck if he gets 70, 30, 50, 50. I don't give a fuck. I'm not interested in that. And people that are interested in that are fucking weirdos, right? Oh man, I'm raging. Canelo gets enough money as it fucking is. He gets enough money as he's basically doing what Eddie Hearn does, putting on fucking shit pay-per-views. He's done nothing but fight fucking small people all his career. People turn around and say he's no duck tempted. He said nearly 50 fights and he took 2 opponents. No cunt's giving him credit for fucking taking Floyd, because as I said last night, every fucker would take the Floyd fight. You're going to lose, 100% guaranteed. You're not going to come out there as if you've just fought Julian Jackson. He's not a guy that's going to fucking punish you. He's just going to win 12 easy rounds. Right, it's no hard. He took the Lara fight, he took the Austin Trout fight. He gets fucking credit for it too. But don't give us this fucking shit here that he's went on this murderer's row rampage and fought absolutely every cunt. He's deliberately fucking moved out of the 154 division because it's full of slick black boxers, right, that he can't deal with. Right, he cannot deal with. And what he's done is he's went to 155 because who's there? Golovkin. Right? And it's not even that. Golovkin wasn't even as big 2 years ago when he's made up this fucking 155 pound catchweight faggot. It was still Martinez was still the champion at that point, so he didn't even have the balls to even go up and fucking fight him, like Cotto done. Right? So he's just basically what he's done. He's made his own division a duck everybody for 154. Right? He fought Lara. I'll give him credit for that. But Andre and all that are still there. The fucking weirdo Charlos, right? But he's not wanting to fight any 106. He's not even fought a fucking middleweight. And he's fought in that division for 2 fucking years. Not one middleweight.
In the space of 4 fights, he fought Austin Trout in a unification. He fought Floyd Mayweather at a catchweight. He fought Angulo. Angulo was a bit short one. He fought Erisland de Lara, who nobody fucking wants to fight. Triple G's want to fight him. Triple G's been offered that name about a million times, and he fucking quakes his fucking beaks every time he's offered it. They four fights prove that this guy will take on anybody. Trout and Lara, they're the fucking co-presidents of the Who Needs Him Club. This guy, if there's one fighter in this sport should get the benefit of the doubt, it should be Canelo if they're taking the fight.
If you're taking 2 opponents?
If you're taking Austin Trout and Lara, who needs him? He didn't need to take the fights. He fucking took them. He chose to take them.
But he's not getting credit as if he fucking fought every cunt in the division.
What I'm saying is, he should get the benefit of the doubt here for Triple G. Until the fucking talks break down and we get the facts out. But everybody's jumped on him straight away. So
it doesn't look good though, does it? For him to dump the belt. I mean, he's known for a long time he's going to have to fight Triple G. They give him the interim fight. He fought Can, who's not a middleweight.
Well, it's just to do with money, obviously, isn't it?
Tommy, Can I just ask?
55% and 45%. That's what we're dealing with there. You can understand them dropping the belt, can't you?
I get the money split. I get why, but they
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, man.
And
You get it, then.
I don't think Golovkin would. They can make deals outside of that anyway. It doesn't have to be a 55-45, does it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They
could make a difference with the belts being on the line anyway.
Abel Sanchez is saying they're in talks, and Loeffler's positive about the talks as well. So I think we should just maybe give them time and see what happens here. They're obviously still trying to make the fight. Everybody's jumped on the bandwagon straight away, saying, he's ducked the fight and that. He's not fucking ducked the fight, they're in talks.
I think if it was that close to being made, surely the WBC would make it, or extend it.
Well, you would have thought so, but they've obviously set a deadline, and Canelo's team's obviously not going to object to it, haven't they? They were looking at fucking 45% of the purse, which they're never going to get in a realistic world, are they?
Well, I don't really give a fuck about all that. I just want to.
Well, as I say, man, you're fully in the wrong sport if you don't want to get involved in politics, because it's prize fighting, and that's what boxing's all about.
I can tell you right now, see if Eddie Hearn fucking come out with this bullshit, you'd be tearing your arsehole.
I tear Eddie Hearn my arsehole. I tear Eddie Hearn apart all the time. I don't defend him when it comes to fucking these bullshit Kill Brutal for like you guys. Come on.
You're doing it right. You're defending somebody right now.
I'm not defending anybody. I'm saying they're still in talks.
How long does
they are? I'm saying I'd rather wait until fucking the negotiations are done and we find out the facts.
When was the Cotto fight? Was the Cotto fight last November? He said fucking November have these talks.
Well, he's no, because he's obviously in talks in our fight. He said that after the fight, the Golden Boy was starting talks on the Monday, which was just over a week ago.
Tommy.
Yes.
Cards on the table on MBP 50.
I think you'll take the fight 200%.
Will the fight happen this year, next? No more bullshit fucking hanging about.
I think it will. Will, man. Yeah.
Will you be pissing yourself in Vegas this September then, do you think?
Probably more than likely, man. Probably.
Good man.
I'm going out to the fight, aye. I'm not confident it'll take place. I'm going to book up for it shortly.
I like it.
Alright. If you're that confident, don't book it when you can get your money back if it goes wrong. Book it when you've got to pay up front.
Aye. Well, I book through Expedia anyway, man. I always pay up front.
I wouldn't be confident that this happening. That fight would happen in Vegas either.
I could happen in California, man.
It's going to be Dallas.
I think it might go to Texas.
Yeah, it'd be Dallas. It'd be that massive Cowboy Stadium, innit?
That's it. Think about the size of the fight. The casinos are going to pay top dollar for this, aren't they?
Aye, but that guy that owns fucking Dallas Cowboys has got money to burn.
Aye.
Gary Jones.
Yeah, they had Pacquiao fucking Clotty there, didn't they?
Aye. I think the way boxes went, all the massive fights have always went to Vegas. There's talk of Floyd and Pacquiao going to Texas and that as well. I think when the casino bids, I think that's fucking game over.
Isn't that 110,000? That fucking.
It's something mad, yeah.
It's something crazy.
That's a bit fucking too big. I know. We've had Wembley for fucking Froch Groves, but it's a lot of people to get to come out and watch it. There's a lot of sticks there.
Yeah, it's just it's by the border, isn't it?
No, it's miles from Texas. Texas is miles from Mexico, mate. No Mexicans at all. No Spanish people. Yeah, they could probably get 50,000. Honestly, what did Pacquiao Clotty do? 45, something like that. 40.
Wasn't Pacquiao Margarita was there as well, wasn't it?
Aye, that was Riggin on the undercard against Cordoba.
Oh yeah, his
Canelo
first
did Canelo do nearly 50,000 for Kirkland in some big fucking arena?
He did like 30,000 or something.
He done 40,000 for Trout.
Yeah, so he could probably do 110 then, because a lot of people like Golovkin as well.
I don't know if he could do 110. I don't know about that. I don't think a Mexican's done. Like they just don't do boxing fights that big. I think the last one was probably like Chavez, back in his prime in Mexico City, who was doing sort of 90,000 each time. But,
it's a lot cheaper there though, as well, though, isn't it? So they'd make the like shit seats like $20 or whatever, or.
Yeah, like the Cowboy Stadium's got massive screens as well.
It's the 50-foot HD TV or some shit they got there, isn't it? It's something ridiculous like that.
It's a very modern stadium. I think you get a good view wherever you're sat. The opposite of Goodison Park, which is going to be an absolute shit fest next week. But right, from one, if we give Canelo the benefit of the doubt, then, and I do think Tommy's giving him the benefit of the doubt rather than saying, he's definitely not ducking it.
I've seen that, man. Listen. I'm a Frampton fan as well. I was a big Frampton fan by the day when it came to 2014. Obviously, he was offered the Riggando fight before he'd even won a world title and he refused it. I kind of went off him back then, eh? So, I don't mind. If I like a fighter, and they duck somebody else shitting them, I have no problem with doing that. I've done it in the past, I'll do it again.
Well, what do you think about, I don't know if you've seen the news about Warrington and Selby, because that looks like potentially another similar duck. And I don't know if anyone's inclined to give Warrington the benefit of the doubt because his excuse is pretty shite. Cal, do you want to walk us through it? Because you had some quite funny views on it.
Well, this morning Lee Selby's obviously said that he don't want the fight this summer because they're getting married. Warrington's getting married, and he didn't want it to get in the way of the preparations for the marriage. So obviously Warrington's been shouting Selby's name for 2 years. Now he's been picking up all his vacant belts. And Chris Sanigar were laughing at Josh and Eddie Hearn and Sky basically, because I think they're kind of putting Selby in the corner for going to Al Heyman. And then just about 20 minutes ago, Steve Woods put out a press release saying, it's shameful what the Selbys have done. He's getting married. How can we expect the wife to put the marriage off any longer? They've been waiting 2 years to get married. And it's not even that close. It's 14 days away. So even if Selby fucks him up, which he will, his bruising will have gone down a bit. He'll be fine. Fucking get the fight on. Getting married is the worst excuse for not making a fight that I've ever heard.
Getting married 2 weeks later as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he was getting married the day before, maybe you could sort of give him an excuse. But I'm trying to think. This is a good question for a future trivia bit. But I'm sure there've been examples of fighters getting married. I remember Brandon Rios fighting about a month before he was due to get married a few years ago. I think that was the Antion fight or something. But I remember he was definitely engaged then and soon to be married.
Did Ricky Burns no fight just no long before he got married, or was it maybe he seen a kid or something? I can't remember. I'm sure Burns was getting married and he fought maybe fucking a few weeks before it.
Yeah, possibly. Or he was. I remember. Wasn't it the Beltran fight? He had his kid was born just before.
His woman had a win.
That's what it was. Maybe what it was. Yeah.
But the main problem with this is it's the fact that they're acting like Lee Selby's untouchable, and he's going to be there at the exact same position in his career next summer as he is now. Lee Selby, if he steps up and has a unification, he'll get beat by any of the other champions. So then the fight's nowhere near as big. And fucking Josh Warrington, if they put him in with anyone that's world level, he gets beat. So fucking they're taking the biggest gamble on marinating this fight that's not even that good in the fucking first place.
You got straight with an iron heart and you was
fight, you wankers.
Nowhere near a pay-per-view, and they're not delaying it by 3 months or 6 months. They're delaying it by a year, which is mental. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely mad. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a complete duck by Warrington. Because he tweeted earlier saying, we could have it in the arena now, or we could have it in Elland Road next year. And it's fuck's sake, just get the fight on, and if it's good, do a rematch next year for twice the money, for fuck's sake. Whatever happened to, get in there and do it, and then if people enjoy it, pay to see it again. If Quigg and Frampton had been half decent, we'd probably have a rematch by now, or they'd at least be negotiating it, but it was fucking awful. Quigg iced him in 6 rounds, no bother.
Did you know pick Barroso to win the meet there?
Yeah, no, I did. I admit. I think a lot of us had Barroso actually.
I
didn't.
You guys did us on that.
Sometimes it just goes tits up, yeah.
Yeah. Shame. He was drugged by Gallagher, but yeah. Okay, so we're not sure about Warrington, but we don't really give a shit either way.
I just don't. There's no other route for him to get to a world title because they don't want any of the other champions because he'll get absolutely embarrassed. So what are they going to do? Are they going to fight 2 more eliminators this year in that shitty fucking arena, and then hope that Selby's ready for him next year? Selby's fucking massive. He could easily move up. He could easily lose if he fights anyone very good. What the fuck are they doing? It's the stupidest marinating I've ever seen.
They're in kind of a weird position with him because with a lot of the other Matchroom fighters, we've seen this week with they just stuck all the Smiths on the Bellew card, haven't they, against TBAs in like 6-rounders. You know, you've got Callum Smith ringside. Last month he was ringside, sort of looking like he was going to fight the Jack De Gale winner, and now he's having an 8-rounder on an undercard in Liverpool, which is fucking against TBA. It's nonsense. But they can't do that with Selby. With Warrington, because they have to keep him in Leeds. So yeah, he's going to have two. They're going to have to get him sort of 1 or 2 headline fights in the meantime, which will sell but are safe enough that he definitely won't lose. So I don't know. It's quite a tricky position, I think, because they're going to need to step him up. Otherwise, the fans will get a bit bored of him sort of fighting Joel Brunker twice more in the next 18 months. Do you know what I mean? And then waiting for Selby.
Do you reckon
Especially if Selby's not looking that good, because the fans will start saying, well, Warrington could beat this guy. Why aren't we fighting him? You know?
Do you reckon we could see like Selby versus Frampton if Frampton beats Santa Cruz before the year's out then, if this fight don't take place?
Bloody hell, that'd be a fucking year, wouldn't it? Quick, Santa Cruz and then Selby.
That'd be like...
That's fighter of the year, that, isn't it, maybe?
By a long shot. Even though fighter of the year will go to Kovalev, won't it, when he beats Ward?
Ward wins.
Fuck off.
Maybe Golovkin, I think, actually, because the Americans love him now. They always vote for the most popular guy. Should have been McDonnell last year. We all know it should have been McDonnell. But who did they give it to last year? Was it Floyd again? Yeah.
Did Terence Crawford win it when he beat Ricky Burns in a flyweight?
Crawford won it in 2013, and I was furious about that because Mikey Garcia should. Because Garcia had 3 amazing wins across 2 divisions, and they gave it to Crawford because he was like hipster's choice or whatever.
Fucking shite.
Just beat some journeyman Scott, and then Gamboa, who was a 126 pounder. Anyway, well, next one. Going up. Speaking of, I guess fighters of the year in the future, we've got Eubank signing with Matchroom. If anyone's got any thoughts on that, because obviously he wants Golovkin in October, doesn't he? His dad said so. So maybe he's going to derail the Canelo fight.
Listen, I think the guys are fucking, Eubanks are fucking mental. I think he take that fight, Eubank Jr. His father had some set of balls in the I think they'd genuinely take that fight, the Eubanks, if it was offered to them.
I don't understand why Eubank doesn't sign with Heyman. He seems like the sort of guy who...
Tommy, you having a wee bit of revisionism again with Eubank? He's got some balls. He fought some utter fucking trash. He went on a fucking world tour of shite.
I'm not saying he's fought anybody, I'm just saying he's got balls.
He's a fucking nonce.
He's got balls, man. He's old man.
He's both balls in his mouth.
He's old man, there's fucking nails as well.
But man, I like Eubank Jr. I don't care whether he signed for Hearn or not. You know what? I was actually glad that he signed with Hearn, because that just makes the fucking Saunders fight harder to make, and it might fucking push Saunders to have to fight Golovkin when Canelo ducks him. So I'm pinning my hopes on Saunders, Golovkin in the summer, West Ham Stadium. Ave, yeah. We all get down there and we fucking have some. Yeah.
When are they knocking down West Ham Stadium?
They'll knock it down at some point, but
not immediately, I don't think.
You know, Frank Warren will be wanting that fucking fight in West Ham for some reason. Fuck knows why West Ham. Fucking Scotland.
Still alive, isn't it?
Is that where his manor is?
I think so.
He probably used to shag Karen Brady back in the day. Little slag.
I bet she's fucking filth, man. I bet she is fucking filth. Cow. No, but you always knew Eubank was going to get back to Hearn anyway. Fuck knows what that was all about. But that's just basically the Eubanks just to show Hearn, you don't own us, we'll decide what we fucking want to do. And if we go away for you, we'll still be able to do well, which they actually done. That fight with Blackwell was fucking minted, and the crowd was absolutely bouncing, so they can sell without fucking Hearn. It just goes to show you. See if you put on entertaining fights, you don't need Hearn. Cunt so fucking back you. Fuck Hearn.
Look at Amir Khan.
Oh, aye.
And then, wasn't it? I read that Eubank had only signed a 2-fight contract with Hearn, so it could be that they sort of stay on for the rest of the year, then they fuck off again. I don't know.
It was Eubank who said they signed a 2-fight contract. Eddie Hearn just said they've re-signed him.
Did they not say that it's Eubank Promotions or something like that?
C2 Promotions.
That's fucking bent, man.
C2, man, fuck's sake. Oh, fucking hell. K2 and C2, fuck me.
Should have called it C4. Would have been better. I think he's got brothers. Eubank.
Yeah, he's got an estranged brother as well, hasn't he? Who's in.
There's
140.
He's got 2 brothers. He's got one with obviously his mum, and he's got fucking one with his dad as well.
But what do we think? I mean, he's fighting Tom Doran, and someone asked me, I think yesterday, who could he realistically get on this card, and my thoughts were, I didn't say Doran, but I thought someone around ranked 50th in the division. I think Doran on Boxback is like 55 or something.
I said this like earlier on. I said you can't really shit on the fight because he's British champion. Doran's in line. He's took his shot. Fair play to him.
It'll be a good fight as well. It'll be fun because
you can shit on the fight. You can shit on the fight being on a pay-per-view card, which is fair enough. But you can't shit on the fight because what's Doran supposed to do? Go, oh no, I can't beat him, and fuck it off. Nah, he's going to take it.
Paul Smith did that. He refused to defend his belt against anyone in the top 10 for about 18 months. Yeah.
Is that the co-main for a pay-per-view?
No, Groves and Murray will be co-main.
Oh, right, aye.
This will be third, won't it?
You can bet after this fight, your second fight's going to be John Ryder. It's a fucking stick on.
Yeah, you can see that. Or a Go-Go's could be a Go-Go as well, maybe. He's on the Burns card, isn't he?
If he fights, that'll be a move for another fucking 2 years.
Yeah, I suppose he'll break his hand or something again, won't he? Fucking idiot. But I'm kind of glad. Well, not glad that he's with Hearn, but glad that he'll be fighting again. He is exciting to watch, as much as I think he's a cunt, and I don't actually rate him. He's good to watch. He's in fun fights.
I actually want to retract what I just says about Eubank. I actually grew up a Eubank fan. Fuck knows why I just kicked off on him there. I'm just raging. Tommy's got me fucking raging here. I like Eubank. Eubank's tough as fuck. But, whatever. I'm all for fucking people defending British title and winning it outright. I'm pissed after the fact that he keeps mentioning Golovkin. If you're going to fight guys that you're fighting at the weekend or whenever the fucking fight is, and then calling out Golovkin, you're full of shit. Just go your own way. Stop mentioning the man. Everybody's fucking ducking him, including that ginger bastard Canelo.
Oh man.
Right. I'm trying to think. Who would you want to see Eubank in with next? After, so let's say Eubank's coming back again in sort of autumn, September, and I'm guessing it'll be on a Matchroom pay-per-view because he's clearly being used. He's basically their own George Groves, isn't he? He'll be used as cheap support on every pay-per-view with Joshua or with some shit domestic fight that they want to sell. But, who would you want to see Eubank in with?
Ryder.
After Doran. What about
Lemieux
or something? No, but could we get Lemieux over here? I don't know. He's probably on pretty good money now with HBO.
Why not just win the belt outright and just fight Ryder?
He'd have to make two. He'd have to make this defence Ryder then another one. It's 3 defences.
Hearn hates Ryder as well.
He doesn't exist.
Yeah, he genuinely hates him.
No, they could make Lemieux. They could get Lemieux over. I don't think he's going to be on that much.
Well, didn't he get like $1.5 million?
He makes good money. He does good Yates now. He's in Canada as well. He's got the back in Yates going that too. He's on decent money. Him.
I think that's the sort of fight Eubank could look really good in.
Andy Lee.
That would be a good kind of maybe like breakout performance for him at top level. I think it's a good style matchup for him. I think, but yeah, I mean, it's not. If we take Billy Joe off the table, there's not really much
Andy Lee.
America, is there?
See a guy you could fight. He's just heard him in the IBA Franks. Is that Hassan Unjam fucking Jackhammer from the French guy? Yeah. Mind him at Fort Quillen. He's hard as nails, man. Mind Quillen put him down about fucking 3 times. But outboxed him.
Lemieux down, didn't he, as well? Yeah.
That's right, man. That'd be a good fight with him and Eubank. He's just above Eubank in the IBF. That's a quick road to go off.
He needs something like that as well, doesn't he? He needs to sort of bridge to world level because he's beat up a lot. He's beat up a lot of fucking cab drivers. A few British guys. He hasn't had that sort of gatekeeper yet.
He hasn't fought. Well, he's fought one boxer, right?
And he got beat. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Dam is a good fighter. You know, he beat Curtis Stevens pretty comfortably, and Stevens is a decent fighter. And yeah, I think that's a good fight. Actually, I'd be surprised if we saw it.
Curtis Stevens would be cheap. Get him over. He can punch like a fucking mule.
That'd be a good fight too.
Yeah, I can see that. I could see Stevens coming over for £500,000 or something on a pay-per-view.
I know it's like common knowledge that the middleweight division's a bit like shit, but when you actually think about it, if you took Golovkin away, who's obviously the best by a mile, it's quite a good division with loads of good like matchups that are quite even.
There's a lot of good B-level guys, I think.
Yeah.
There's some of the Eastern Europeans coming up in there. There's like Kaitrop and things like that. Aye.
Noise.
Is that an elephant?
What's Jake Burns doing on the fucking call?
He wanted a link.
Okay, fine. He was scraping his chair along the ground. Right. We'll get into the sort of free-for-all section in a bit, but we just had another. Last point was really previews of this coming weekend, because obviously we've got the preview league, the prediction league, which Tommy is very, very flukily somehow ended up on top of. Brian and I are hot on his.
I'm a 10-time champion. I used to go into forums and play these things all the time, man. I've won about fucking 10 of them. Me and Andy used to fucking swap them all the time. Used to win. You won your
I always worry, mate, when I end up picking.
That's when everybody started calling me the guru, when I started to win them all the time.
I think the last few weeks, me and you have picked most of the same stuff, and I'm a bit worried this week. I've gone all decision. I think you've gone all KO, so I'm a bit worried about it. I feel like I might have fucked up, but we'll see. We've got Parker against Takam coming up, obviously on. I think is that on Friday? I think it might be on Friday, and then Lebedev Ramirez, which is that a unification, or did Ramirez lose his belt? I can't.
It's unification, isn't it?
He's still got the IBF, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's
unification.
That's a good fight, and that'll
That's not on Box Nation anymore, which takes the piss.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's replacing Povetkin Wilder, isn't it, on that Russian card? And
we
then
got Vanez and Lara there to look forward to, haven't we? Yeah, fucking joy.
I'm just looking forward to the slicksters on Saturday night. I'll be sitting there bashing the helmet right after just slickness.
Well, right, Brian, who are your tips then? Who's going to look good on the PBC card? I think Charlo might knock Trout out.
I don't even know what Charlo's the different one.
Jamel is the boxer who beat Rosado and has a belt, I think. And Jamal is more of the puncher, and Jamel's a bit better.
But,
I might be wrong. I think
that's how you say puncher. He's not even get like a high knockout rate.
No. One of them's a bit of a puncher, and then the other one is a proper.
The one that Trout's fighting is a puncher. He's got about 20 knockouts or something.
But isn't he the one? Isn't he the one who? The one who's got the belt is more of the boxer, I'm sure.
So one that stopped K9 that Austin Trout's fighting.
Well, that's
and he beat Rosado, didn't he? Like 18 months ago or something. He's a good boxer, very, very fast hands, and I think Trout is a little bit shot. And
that was the other one that beat Rosado.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I was thinking. So it's
fucking casual, eh?
So Jamal's fighting Trout.
He's fighting Austin Trout. He's 20.
That's a real shame, genuinely.
Jamal Charlo is.
Yeah, that's a shame. I thought Jamel was fighting Trout. Jamel is the better one, I think.
I agree with you there. To be honest.
Oh, genuinely. I was going to bet on that fight. Thank fuck I didn't. It was the wrong fucking brother, honestly. But Jamal can punch a bit.
I never set of twins and call them fucking names that's right similar. I mean, that's fucking bent as fuck. It's like a hun up in Scotland calling his name Billy and fucking Willie in it.
Right, man. What about George Foreman? George Foreman calling all he's being George.
Brian, it's like calling him Nicholas and Nicholas, but spelling it differently. Spelling it with an H or with a K. It's fucking mental.
Every single one of these cunts on this card is ducking J-Rock anyway, aren't they? They're just pretending he don't exist.
Aye, alright, fucking boxing rant. Fuck off.
We quite like J-Rock on this pod, but he said something ridiculous the other day. It was something about
he's always going on about racism stuff that constantly fucking getting fights not because they're black. I'm like, no, it's because you're a prick, mate, and sign with Heyman. I mean, how can you not get a fight when everybody's under the one manager?
Genuinely, Brian, he's a bit obsessed with like white fighters getting away with stuff that other fighters don't. It's a bit weird. Like he was saying how we're shitting on Canelo, but when Kovalev fought Pascal for the second time, we all loved it. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? Like, no one wanted that rematch. Everyone complained about it. And he was saying, like, no, you were all really hyped for it. But now you're shitting on Canelo because he's talking about rematching Cotto. And it's like, no, mate, you're remembering it wrong. Like, no one wanted the second Pascal fight. But anyway, he's a good fighter. I'd like to see him fight Charlo at some stage.
I wasn't too bothered about that Pascal rematch because there wasn't really much else. And you always like to see Kovalev whether they can kill somebody or not. Literally kill some cunt.
Do we think
154 annoys me, man. There's so many good fights that can be made in there that never have to fight each other. I really don't understand it. And they're all under the same guy. It should be so easy. They could just have like an 8-man tournament, but none of them seem interested.
But I'm pretty sure one of the Charlos has left Ronnie Shields now, so there's no excuse.
Yeah, one of them has.
So they've no excuse now that they can't fight Lara because they're all under the same fucking roof. Get the fights made. You know, see that's like.
Well, apparently they're good friends now, aren't they? So
was De La Hoya and fucking Mosley, and De La Hoya gave it to the fucking cunt.
And Mosley took pets doing it.
This friends thing is just absolute horseshit, honestly. Like,
Shep,
and half the time, Lampley is like, these two are really good friends, but they're going to beat the shit out of each other for the next half an hour. And like, how often, you don't need to hate each other to have a fight. It's perfectly normal for, especially in Asia and stuff where they're really polite and respectful to each other, but they still go out and fight.
Imagine getting to fight your best mate for a world title, knowing if you punch his cunt in, you can fucking always text him and say, I battered you, you dick. #lol.
The idea, like, just because you sort of work with a guy, you wouldn't want to fight them. It's not my experience of working life at all.
Tommy's gone.
Tommy's gone. His attempt to take over the show has failed. The asylum is dying.
Another one.
Carl, what was it you wanted to say then, mate?
Oh, just about Huey and Dillian White go on like countryside walks and all sorts. So show a bit of respect, Shep. They're really good pals.
They sit down on a Sunday night watching Country File together, don't they?
Even though Huey hardly speaks and Dillian's like a proper roadman, so I bet they get on right well.
Jake, what the fuck are you doing?
I've been muted for half an hour, you bastard.
Yeah, what are you doing though, mate? It just sounds like you're rubbing something.
I'm playing with matches because I'm cool.
Shit.
Okay. Yeah, right, sorry, go on, mate.
Gosh, that's a new Tom, haven't we?
See,
Speaking of Paul Smith's wife.
No. Vodnikov basically turned around and says, like, oh, you can't fight fucking Manny because they've got the same trainers. He's like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'll go with fucking Marvin then and we can make this fucking fight. Mind, because they were going to get that fight if he beat Algieri, and they were trying to make excuses because they had the same trainer, but he's like, I'll just go with Marvin, I don't care. So see, that's like friendship, Chris.
Yeah, Roach said he trained Provodnikov for that, did he? I think.
No, he didn't.
No. Marvin was like, Marvin said, I would, it's fine if Freddie was happy with it. I'd train Provodnikov and we could do like a sort of gym war rivalry thing. That would have been a great storyline for the fight.
Marvin would probably beat him now as well.
Roach is on a bad run, isn't he? Honestly, really bad.
Coach Roach, isn't
he? He's had Cotto. Pacquiao's obviously gone. Cotto's lost. He had Tapia the other week.
Pascal as well for the rematch.
Yeah, Pascal getting the shit kicked. And then Garcia as well. Garcia's had a lot of losers at the minute. A lot of his fighters getting badly beaten. But Mikey's back, so Mikey will fix that.
Right. Do you not think it's the case that these trainers are just taking too many fighters and they're just taking whoever will give them 20% of their purse? Like, I don't think
30%, mate, not 20%.
No, but I mean, I don't think Roach and Garcia are that bothered about getting someone like Virgil Hunter's always banging on about Andre Ward, saying that he's fucking a great trainer. If you've got a great fighter, how hard is it to be a great trainer? Like them little whispers and stuff. Andre Ward could have gone to fucking Joe Gallagher and been as good as he is. He's just that good. Like, I think the trainer's sometimes blown over proportion because I just think if you're a good fighter, you're going to be good wherever you are, and you're going to tell the trainer, "No, I'll do it this way, thanks, pal, because this is our most effective."
Yeah, it's a bit like saying, Zidane is getting the best out of Ronaldo, and it's like, well, actually, no, Ronaldo's just an unbelievably good player, and he would score loads of goals under any manager. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I know what you mean, and I wish that. Yeah, I guess. I think a lot of fighters place too much stock in the training, and especially mentally weak guys who always want to sort of. David Price is the one that I'm always reminded of when he'd always say that things weren't right with his trainer, and it's like, well, maybe it's you, mate, who's got the problem.
Wasn't his trainer called Franny or Fanny or something like that?
Franny, yeah, Franny. He was his amateur trainer as well, wasn't he?
Because he went to that American for a bit as well, didn't he?
Smith, was it Franny Smith or
Franny Smith? Or was that Bellews?
Because he had that
nice
Franny
apple,
Smith,
that.
then Lennox Lewis, then some American guy.
I thought about making that joke and then thought no.
then he went to Booth.
You missed out.
then he left Booth. Then he went back to Franny, and now he's with whatchamacallit, Dave Caldwell.
Yeah, and but Sam, it's the excuses that came with it. Like, do you remember after he lost the second Thompson fight, all the Scousers were blaming Lewis, saying like, "What was Lennox saying to him? Maybe it was a distraction." It's like, I'm pretty sure Lennox was trying to help. Like, if you're not listening to what Lennox Lewis is telling you, then maybe it's you who's got the problem. And then he had to go at Booth. Booth wanted him to relocate to London and train out of London. He said he didn't like it. He wanted to go back to Liverpool. And you think like, yeah, well maybe Yeah, maybe the fighter's the one with the problem here, not necessarily the trainers, and some conspiracy against him. But yeah, no, I do know what you mean about the trainers. I wish you could get some ring wars at Gallagher's gym. You'd have Joe Gallagher training, say, Callum Smith, and then you'd have Pascal Gallagher training Paul Smith, and you get these absolute wars.
Imagine if fucking Joe Gallagher died tonight. How funny that would be.
You say this every time.
I know.
And then you go and eat pies at his funeral or something.
I'm fucking take steak pie and chicken at his funeral.
Would you show up that Castrol jacket like Alan Partridge?
Brian, has he got any lads fighting at Glasgow next week?
Not that I know.
I thought Cardle had been snuck on.
Yeah, he has Cardle's on it.
Yeah.
So you can have a word with him.
Is the surgeon on the card?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's he fighting?
Not Dodd.
He said he weren't going to be ready to fight Masha Dodd the day before, but he's.
Oh, so basically the two of them are fighting like the same weekend?
Yeah, they're fighting the same weekend, but not against each other because Cardle weren't ready for him. He said.
That must be so frustrating for Cardle. Just fate has conspired against him. Like
robbed of 2 victories. Robbed of 1 victory.
It's the same with fucking Hughie Fury. He says, no, we're not ready, he's ill. We're not going to fight Dillian White like the back end of the summer. But suddenly he's on Tyson Fury's fucking undercard. Thanks a lot.
He's getting over the plate. Give him a break, eh?
I don't know why the Furies get so much fucking leniency off fans. Like, they're getting as much of a cult as fucking Eddie Hearn has.
I'm not sure. I think a lot of people have criticised Hughie, to be fair. Rightly so, but I think he has got quite a lot of criticism in the last week or whatever.
Not as much as if that were a fucking Matchroom guy, nowhere near.
Well, no, but Hughie's not famous, really, is he? He's not like a mainstream name yet. I think if he give it a couple of years, and if he pulls something like this again, I reckon people would really go after him, which is good,
I just think people are grateful he's not on their TV screen, to be honest, the sight of him.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I really don't enjoy it. He's not terrible to watch, but I never look forward to seeing him,
He's good. He's a good boxer. He just ain't got no power, is he?
We should wear a t-shirt in the ring.
Like those people who wear t-shirts when they go swimming on holiday.
Or
I blame the Jews.
We'll get on to you and your Zionist connection later. I'm sure there was a guy who... Oh, yeah, Tony Thompson against Ortiz. Thompson, he weighed in wearing a t-shirt. You just think, I wish that, loads of fighters did that. It would be great. And then they could fight in, some old gabby t-shirt.
Well, it doesn't matter for a heavyweight, though. They can weigh in the fucking jeans, can't they? They really wanted to. Why does it matter? They're an extra pound heavier.
Fury weighed in fully clothed the other year and came in at 285. He was wearing 30 pounds of clothes.
Was that against Joey Abel on that Box Nation run? I think it was when he just turned up and his shorts was they were so tight on him.
Yeah. He barely trained. But he was look, and it was after, wasn't it, when the Chisora it was after
when the hay fight had fallen through.
After the hay fight had fallen through for the second time, and Fury was clearly depressed, and he just showed up in his tracksuit with a parka on and weighed in. It was amazing.
I can kind of understand why people do like the Furies because they're usually pretty honest in that, especially Peter. When he talks.
He said, someone said to him after the fight, do you think that was the best Tyson Fury tonight, or do you think you should have got in better shape? And he said, if I have to train and have a full camp to beat a guy like Joey Abel, then I'm going nowhere. Which is, which is completely honest, right? If you have really to beat Joey Abel, then you're not going to be champion. Yeah.
That's why people like him, innit? Because he is just. He's it gives fat people like myself hope. You look at him and think, fuck me, he's achieved that. I can go out and do something good as well.
You know how the state of the Fury's fucking skin and that. Do you think that's what people look like when they've been hot with shrapnel for a suicide bomb?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it does look like he's been someone's dropped some napalm on his crib or something when he was a kid.
An angry ex has thrown acid on him.
Yeah.
But on a serious point, I do just think that these Billy Joe's the same. They stand behind this fucking gypsy curse that they'll fight anyone, and that somehow gets them out of not fighting people.
But he's a dickhead him after today.
You can't just stand there and say, "I'll fight anyone else, but not him."
Did he not call it Golovkin?
Now, I have a similar theory about the Irish. If you actually look at it, the Irish,
They'll fight everyone.
no, let me finish. Where the Irish kind of hide behind, they have this reputation of being like fighting men, but they're actually not very good. Like there's like 2 Irish people in the Hall of Fame. They're actually quite shit at boxing. And I know that there are Irish people listening, and they can come back if they want. But the Irish really aren't very good, and they have this reputation of being like a really good boxing nation, but they're actually shit. And it's similar with the Travellers, who have this, we'll take on anyone reputation, when in reality, they're quite.
Andy Lee will.
Who was that? Brian.
Andy Lee.
Lee, I'll give him credit, will clearly fight anyone and was perfectly happy to fight Golovkin, wasn't he? But Andy Lee was actually born in London, so that's probably where he gets his fighting spirit.
but
Matthew Macklin?
You don't think so?
Birmingham, for fuck's sake.
Depends where he is on the day.
To be fair.
Matthew Macklin sounds like Steve, the award-winning Steve Wellings. He sounds exactly like him.
Let's just admit,
to be fair. Yeah.
The Irish punch above their weight in all sports, and let's just move on.
Yeah, we had this debate recently, and the results will be released to the public soon. Just to say that the motion was defeated.
Right, we're waffling now. What else we got?
Well, I've got listeners' questions up next.
Here, there too.
And we've got, Couch, have you got a few lined up? Do you want to go through them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few saved as well, and if there's any spare, I'll do them at the end.
Right, I'll go through the panel because some of them are just like.
Yeah, let's rip the asylum off. Address them at a specific person.
Okay. I don't mind that. Right, I've got quite a few. First one goes to Brian. Is Billy Joe Saunders' resume underrated? Take away GGG excuses and trash talk.
I've always said that Saunders' resume, to that point, is good. Because did he not fight like something like 4 undefeated fighters? And I know we can take that with a pinch of salt, but he did take something like decent fights, like a Ryder fight. He took Blackwell earlier on, didn't he? That French guy, he beat fucking Andy Lee, who a lot of people thought that maybe he'd get knocked out with. I think he's got a good resume. I've always stuck up for Billy Joe up until he started all that with Golovkin. Golovkin wanted to fight him. Apparently, he offered him really good money. So I've always been a fan. I picked him. Eubank and all. He beat him. He fucking. I don't care what anybody says. I had this debate yesterday with Adam Abramovich. I think fucking he didn't school him, but he won clearly. And I know people had this close fight, but I didn't see this fight like with Eubank as being close. I had it like something like maybe 9-3, 8-4. Like he'd won like the first 5-6 rounds. So I'm just waiting to see who Saunders fights. I'm kind of hoping that somehow, I don't think Golovkin's going to be fighting Canelo, so I'm hoping that maybe the Saunders fight happens, because I think that's maybe their game plan. They were maybe pinning their hopes on Golovkin having all the belts, so Saunders could make more money and losing the fight to Golovkin, because they've been for all the belts. So that's what I'm kind of hoping on. But
it's like just basically buying the belt off him, so then Canelo's got nowhere to go and they've got a bit of bargaining power.
Exactly. But he's got a good resume.
Yeah.
For a Brit.
Jake, who does Eubanks fight after Doran? This guy said Jacobs or GGG, but you can pick someone else if you don't.
I don't think it'll be the Golovkin fight. I think he'll get a shitty defence in. I think. Oh no, I'm thinking about fucking the last question. Fucking dickhead. I don't know, because like you said, middleweight's such a shit division. There's not really anything between the top sort of 3 and the rest, but fucking Berserk, why not?
Ryder. It'll be Ryder. I'm telling you, it'll be Ryder.
Ryder or Berserk?
Ryder on a pedestal, honestly.
By the way, Jake, after that answer, I'm sending you a contract to sign you up for the MVP.
Oh, fucking hell. You must have deep pockets.
This one's off Christoph, and it says prime £140 Ricky Hatton versus the version of Amir Khan who fought Chino. Who wins? And that's to Shep.
It's a good question. I think I'd go with Hatton. A decision with some knockdowns involved. just because Hatton in his prime was incredibly good, and
I still think he's one of the most underrated fighters. I seen all the day.
We got into this mad yesterday, didn't we,
Oh,
bro?
man,
Me and you with that Stano
raging.
Lowe's cunt.
Fucking raging over that, saying that he's one of the most overrated. No, but isn't he? See, when you listen to American podcasts and the way they talk about Hatton, that's the way we should be talking about him. They appreciated him. They go on about his footwork and how good his footwork really was, how he was able to judge distance and how he was able to close it, get in real close, work the body. They speak fucking highly of Hatton, even though they witnessed the 2 fucking knockouts. But some people out here are fucking weirdos. I don't get it. I don't honestly know how people can talk down Hatton. He was fucking great, and I've said before, I think Hatton's run of fights, whether he won or lost, is far better than fucking Froch. Froch gets all this fucking credit for the running opponents he had. Hatton for Costa Joux onwards, even Bentaki, I thought Bentaki was there, but Costa Joux onwards, man, he fucking fought some decent guys, and it was champion after champion.
I think the issue with Hatton, and I think it's sort of, I agree with you, Brian. I think he's overrated and underrated at the same time, if that makes sense. A lot of people will slag him off and say he was never that good and he was a hype job and stuff because he was so popular. And obviously being really popular meant he got opportunities quicker than other guys. But I think it was because his prime was quite short. I'd say prime Hatton was only 2, maybe 3 years. And then by the time he got beaten by Floyd, I think everything after that, he was clearly never the same. And it was all the sort of ballooning up in weight and stuff, and it cut his prime down. But the guy who fought Zhu, the guy who fought who was the one Castillo and all that lot, and even Malignaggi, he actually beat the shit out of pretty much prime Malignaggi.
I mean, that Urango fight was a good win. Urango was fucking meant to be this.
Prime Urango as well. That was prime. Yeah. Urango gave a lot of guys good fights. Yeah, totally. But I just think his prime came and went quite quickly. But yeah, Cal, to answer the question, I think he beat Khan on points.
Well, we go down everyone. Who do you think wins?
I think he stops Khan. I think 100% he stops Khan. Can he deal with pressure fighters? And the one thing Hatton's good at is fucking pressure, and Hatton had a punch on him.
You think points, Shep?
Yeah, I think points, but with knockdowns. I think he's knocked him down a few times.
He'd have stopped him, definitely.
Yeah, Hatton would stop him in the late rounds, I think it'd be one of them where Khan would be up going through 6 again, but he'd get caught later on.
Rocco, are you about?
Can you hear me?
Rocco?
He'll jump in. Yeah, I'm sure. I think he might not be home yet. So.
Carp, this one's a bit complicated, so I'll give it a but. Can you break down the market forces Eddie talks about which affect fighter pay and undercards, and is it has Hearn made the problem?
No, I can't because I'm not a boxing promoter.
Sorry, Neil.
What does he mean, market forces?
Illuminati?
I think he's on about all the American, like with Heyman overpaying, and then it's fucking made him have to overpay so his fighters don't go to Heyman. I think that's what he's getting at. But I don't really.
One market affecting another. If he stayed in school past the age of 12, you'd understand what that meant.
This one's a short one. Is Galahad on the Fury Klitschko undercard? Does anyone know? Oh no, we've seen very little condemnation.
He is. Yeah, he is, right? Yeah.
So he's on it, but do you think more people should have spoke out and said, "Why is this cheat on the undercard?" Or is it classic Britain? Don't do anything wrong.
I didn't know he was until we got that question. I think it's good that he's being ignored. I think we should just ignore the rest of his career. He's a cheat, and no one should watch him. And also he's shit, so it helps. But I'm just going to ignore him, and I'm not going to, talk about his fights or, praise him or anything like that. So yeah.
Next one's kind of gone through, but with Eubank signing with Hearn, does this force Billy Joe Saunders into the Golovkin fight? Which is quite a good question. I
think it does. He's got nowhere else to go, is he really? Because Warren's not going to let Billy Joe fight on Sky. And Billy Joe's not going to go to Hearn because he seems to have a very good relationship with Frank, doesn't he? He's just going to sell. He's going to sell his belt for as much as he can get.
I mean, see, over the next fucking 6 weeks, you're talking here that Canelo could dump his belt, Jacobs could dump that fake belt, and Billy Joe Saunders can turn down the fucking fight. So you've got 2 champions, right? And Jacobs, the fucking fake belt fucker. They can all just turn it down in the space of a couple of weeks. This is what we've got to in boxing.
I think the key thing here was, I remember when Billy Joe did. Do you remember after Golovkin signed to fight Wade, and Billy Joe tweeted straight away saying like, "Yeah, let's get the fight on." And he did that with Coogan a few days later.
Lara does that every fucking time.
But he did the interview with Coogan, and Coogan was like, "Right, I think you can understand why people are giving you a bit of stick this week." And Billy Joe went, "Look, listen, you know the way he always says it. Listen." He says "listen" at the beginning of every sentence. It really fucks me off. But he said, "Imagine how strong a position I'll be in once Canelo fights Golovkin, gets the WBC belt, and then I'm the only one left. I'm the last piece of the puzzle. Think about how much, how big a fight that'll be." And I think, to be honest, now Billy Joe would think, well, my belt's not going to get any more valuable than it is now. You know what I mean? I am the last piece that that Golovkin needs. And I think, I agree. I think he'd sell his belt. I think Lemieux sold his belt, and I think Billy Joe would do the same to Golovkin.
This one's Oscar was known for his guts and fighting everybody. Why is he condoning this shit with Canelo? I'll answer that one. It's because he's pretty much his only cash cow left. So if he loses again, then it lowers his value. Even though, in my opinion, the Mexicans would prefer him to fight him, lose, and then carry on. But you might be thinking the wider appeal, like with how it is at the minute, if you lose, it seems to lose your appeal a bit. So that's my take on it.
Cal, I think maybe a better question that sort of answers that one is who's Golden Boy's second biggest star? Genuine question. I can't think off the top of my head.
Is it Lemieux in Canada, maybe? He's still a good... He still sells well.
Yeah, he is, yeah. He's with Golden Boy.
So it's a hell of a drop-off, isn't it, from Canelo to Lemieux? If you look at, like, Arum would have probably 5 guys who could carry not carry, but could headline a pay-per-view, whereas... and Heyman's obviously got dozens.
5 is a stretch.
Even Hearn's got maybe 2 or 3 who could conceivably headline. I mean...
A pay-per-view?
Yeah, I think if Hearn's got what... Brooke has headlined a pay-per-view. Bellew has, and then you've got who can. No, sorry, I don't mean that it's justified. I just mean that they can do it. Whereas if you look at,
I think Brooke, DeGale, and Joshua in the right fights are pay-per-view, and I wouldn't even mind paying if they were like the proper fights. But other than that, I don't think you can call Bellew.
Brooke and DeGale are only in big fights if they fight, like if Brooke was to fight Khan or DeGale was to fight Joshua. Like George Gross, sorry for fucking
Joshua.
We really need to get back to the old definition, which is like a guy who can carry a pay-per-view against a TBA. Do you know what I mean? Like Pacquiao in sort of 2011, where it didn't matter who he was fighting. Like people would buy tickets, or Floyd, doesn't matter who they're fighting. Floyd's comeback will be pay-per-view and will sell out, sell, I don't know, 400,000, 500,000 copies, whatever. Or AJ can obviously do a pay-per-view against anyone. Is there really anyone else in world boxing that can do that? I mean, Canelo, it's been shown by the numbers that he needs an opponent that people at least care about.
Rajinder Singh in India.
But in a couple of years.
Brian, we may have done it before, but I don't think we have. If you could make a Super 6 competition in any division, which would it be? And then we'll all pick a fighter to be in it. So which division do you reckon's the most ripe for a Super 6?
I could be twisted and say 154 just so I've fucking he'd absolutely frazzled. But
130?
No, no, like fucking welterweight. We just want. I know we're getting. I mean, I still think Floyd's going to come back, right? I'm not saying Floyd's retired, right? And Pacquiao's not retired. You've still got Bradley, you've got Thurman and Porter's going to be fighting shortly. You maybe have fucking cocksucker Brook fighting like Vargas. You've got Canier, you've got Garcia. I'd want a Super 6 on that because none of these fuckers are wanting to fight each other. Garcia makes excuse after excuse. He might be fighting Barrow or some shit. So
I'd say you're right. That's the most wide open, isn't it? Like no one really knows who's the best now. The Pacquiao and Mayweather have gone.
I mean, aye, because I keep tossing and turning over who's going to win v Porter and Thurman. For some reason, I've always had it in my head that Porter beats Thurman, but Thurman beats Brook, and Brook's got a win over Porter, even though I don't think he did. So I don't think Garcia's as bad as we all make out. Nah, back there is his shite, but I just want the fucking best for the best. The ideal world it'd be I would take 160 so Nacon can fucking duck Golovkin. I'd probably really pick that because that way then Golovkin's got Canelo, Jacobs, Saunders, maybe Peter Quillen if he comes back after fucking getting wiped out. He's get that one of these guys is, I don't know, man. We'd need to listen to the boxing rant again to find out what fucking middleweight that's actually coming up that they know. So welterweight, I'll take welterweight.
I'd go heavyweight.
Casual.
Yeah,
Shep, Shep, you're a bit like history. You're into that bollocks, aren't you? So you could have this one. If you could only choose one era, which part of boxing history do you prefer learning about the most? Pioneer, old timers, or modern?
Yeah, this is weird, isn't it? It's about the I think it's the
Is Pioneer before telly?
No, Pioneer is I think before even like Jack Dempsey. It's like before the Queensberry rules were codified. I think it goes
Fight to the death.
back to like the mid 19th century. It's meant.
Who the fuck wants to watch boxing back then?
Exactly.
Who fucking asked that question?
I agree with you, Brian. It doesn't interest me either. Like, guys fighting 125 rounds with no gloves on.
What's his Twitter handle? I go and slag him. What's his name?
It's at Boxing Register.
I'm fucking heading towards him.
I'd probably say, honestly, Cal, my favourite eras to read and learn about are like the 70s and 80s, to be honest.
Would that be classed as, like back end of old timers?
Modern is anything from the 50s onwards. So
is it?
Yeah, so I'll say modern.
So
it gets less and less interesting the further you go back, I think, because it becomes more and more a different sport.
Right, okay. Anyone else bothered about history?
I'm a fuck.
I think I really I'm a fuck. I can only go back as far as the 60s, man. I can't even go the fucking 50s with Ray Robinson, not where you can hardly see any of the fucking fights and most of them are in black and white. I know people are going to turn around, fuck you, historian. I don't give a fuck. I can't even watch a film black and white, never mind watch a fucking boxing match. Fuck off with your black and white shite, and you've got that old American guy now. Oh, today you could see like a left punch there, it's all exactly not. Fuck off.
Right, okay.
Churchill.
Next big pod. Oh shit, that's ours. Will Joshua fight Fury this year?
No.
Be
next summer, won't it? Wembley, baby.
Who's the biggest ducker in boxing today? Canelo, Stevenson, or anyone else?
Stevenson.
Quillen.
Yeah,
Quillen literally ducked everyone for about 3 years.
Yeah, but Quillen
shit got done in a round. And got knocked out in a round by a complete house and got
I'm going to
by Dimitri Pirog in 5 rounds.
I'm going to say Kelbrook. What are you laughing at? Kelbrook actually ducked about fucking 5 champions over the space of 4 years. He literally had he had an offer for Tim Bradley. It was mandatory to Manny Pacquiao. I'm pretty sure that it was offered.
What happened with the Devon Alexander fight? Because that was
he kept getting injured, didn't he?
No. One of the times he was fucked. He fucked the weight and all that, and pulled out kid and he had an injury. Another time
that was Ainsley that told us that, wasn't it?
No, Ainsley fucking tried to deny it because he was trying to defend his boy at that point. One of the time he apparently did have an injury. Alexander got an injury. He had the Sinchenko fight, but fucking Hearn says it was shite money going to Russia, and I was like, well, if you're that confident in your boy, you don't give a fuck. Malinashi fucking went over there, he didn't give a fuck. So, who was the other guy? Mike Jones, he turned down him. Apparently, fucking he had an offer to go up to 154 to fight Bundridge when he had a belt. So, I think he was forced into taking that Porter fight because there was nowhere else for him to go. If he didn't take that fight, it was just a joke.
He's been number 1 with the IBF for like 3 years, hadn't he? At that point, it was
Mel Brooks ducking Yusuf Mack.
Talking
about boxing. Sorry.
Ricky Burns ducked Vasquez back in the day as well.
Oh, don't get me started with that.
Get the fuck.
Right.
I had tickets to that.
Jake.
Hit me.
Actually, I'll tell you in a minute because it's about a 2-minute question. With Hearn stating that De Gale would be on pay-per-view if he fought in London after his title win, should we encourage more UK fighters to sign with Heyman so we can watch them box on Sky Sports instead of pay-per-view against similar quality opponents? E.g., I'm desperate for De Gale Jack to be staged in the US so I don't have to pay 17 quid for it with Groves as a chief support. Imagine paying pay-per-view to see him against Butte and Medina. A mandatory. He had to fight. So if in the UK it would have been on a pay-per-view show.
That's a fair point. I was proper anti-Al Heyman when he first came about and he self-published PBC shite. But for British fighters, I think it's quite good for him. I mean, I don't give a shit about the Americans, but if I'm not having to pay a pay-per-view, which I wouldn't anyway, but if people aren't having to pay a pay-per-view for someone to fight shite over here, then I'm all for it. So yeah, go for it.
I agree. Anyone else got any points?
Aye, fuck Eddie Hearn. The more people sign for Al Heyman, the funnier it is for me.
I agree.
I want as many people with as many different promoters as possible, because that means more fights get made. Do you know what I mean? You want everyone to be in the position Golden Boy's in, where they have to match their guys tough, and they have to negotiate and work with other promoters to get anything done. You don't want one guy who's got 75% of the welterweights or 75% of the cruiserweights, because it means they've got no incentive to improve the product, and they can just be like Hearn and sit on their thumbs and charge us more and more money for less and less actual product.
Mm. If GGG and Canelo don't fight, who's their next realistic opponent? Is Ginger Kid's next opponent Lemieux, Beefy, Rosado, or a welterweight?
Well, he's ducked going to Anfield once before. He'll never go there.
Do you reckon he'll stay around, even if he don't fight Golovkin, he'll stay in between 160 and 154, or do you reckon he'll go back down, lose another pound, and fight there for a fight or two?
I don't think
he'd fight there realistically. He was not with Al. 154.
It's beefy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Liam's got to get past that tough next defence, hasn't he, to be fair?
Kell Brook and Canelo are fighting over who can fight Liam Smith at Anfield.
Liam Smith had he had an interview recently where he said anyone else in the division at 154, and I can't remember what the logic was, because I think he said the other three titleists in the division were all with, they were all with Ronnie Shields, they were all with the same gym. And he went, well, they're not going to fight each other. So if anyone wants to unify, they have to fight me in Liverpool. And you just think, why do they? Oh. They might, okay, maybe they have to fight you, fair enough. But why do they have to fight you in Liverpool? It doesn't make any sense. Why are they so entitled that they think every fucking fight is going to be at Anfield or at Goodison Park or whatever? It really annoys me. Like, there was no mention in the interview of him. All the other champions are based in America. No mention of him being willing to travel or willing to sort of go to Vegas or whatever it was. And we all know that. Wasn't the thing about him fighting when the Kell Brook fight was mentioned, and Gallagher said, well, Liam Smith would need at least 1.5 million for that fight, and he's just like, for fuck's sake, just pricing themselves out like Hearn's doing with Crawler. Pathetic.
Next one, we've only got 3 more. Given the fact that arguably 4 of the 5 biggest names in British boxing have almost nothing to do with Eddie Hearn, does he deserve the praise he gets? He's done wonders for Crawler and Paul Smith, but I can't think of many others he's really done a good job on.
See, I thought initially yesterday, look, because I was like fucking raging about Canelo, and people were kind of defending it, saying it needs to be built up a bit more, so it's a bigger fight. And how many fights has Hearn caused not to happen? He basically had to fill a fucking 135 division. And not one fight did he make between his stable. What he was trying to do was trying to get every fucker a belt on their own, trying to get Ricky a belt again, trying to get Mitchell a belt, trying to get Crawler a belt, trying to fucking collect all these belts and not make the fights. And then when he was wanting to make the Mitchell-Crawler fight, he had to fucking go through Barroso and he fucked it up. Hearn's great for Hearn. He's not great for fucking boxing fans. And see if there's like casuals that's listening around saying, no, I like Hearn, not. We'll phone up and discuss it, because we never ever fucking get to speak to any of them. But I think he's a fucking disaster waiting to happen, and I'll stick to my guns. He will walk away at some point. He's a fucking prick.
You look at the fighters who aren't with him, the ones with talent, and their careers are a lot further on than a lot of Eddie's guys who had talent as well. Kell Brooks had one good fight, and like Frampton, if he beats Santa Cruz, will be massive in that division. He's already massive. But
Frampton left him and went and paid the money to get Kiko over. I tell you, Hearn done that after fucking Kiko lost to Frampton. At no point did he attempt to put his horn in his pocket to pay for nothing. And I'm going to try to explain here that this is how I get pissed off. But I know like Asylum kept going on about those fans here that Love the fact that fights aren't getting made because of Eddie Hearn, because he'll not get paid. Why do you care? Well, you know why I care. Because like, the same with Scott Quigg and the same with Kell Brook, they want to fucking get these fights with the least resistance. Brook doesn't want to earn nothing. Brook was calling out Amir Khan for Khan turned pro at 135 £. Brook started at 147 £, right? He was calling him out for day one. Quigg was offered that fight with Frampton ages ago. He didn't take it. They fought absolutely fucking no cunt, and all they wanted to do was get that big fight. And I don't get this, like, oh, but it's a big fight for us, big fight for us. You know what? I want cunts to fucking earn a fight. I want, like, Canelo fight Golovkin. The two of them are fucking champions. But see this, like, Brook, we're chasing after Khan. Make your own fucking career. Stop chasing after one guy just to get paid, just so you can fuck off out of the sport because you caught suck dick, sniff coke, and you want to fuck off to, like, Marbella or something like that. You know, I'm sick of this. Hearn's just basically what Josh is the world's worst for it. The fucking least resistance to get the most money. Give the fucking fans what they want. The fans want fucking champion v champion. Don't give fucking shite Brazil. Brazil's fucking garbage. I hate you, Joshua, man. I can't wait till you get fucking done in.
The only one you can say that Hearn's done well for is Froch, isn't it? Just changed his career, I suppose.
He did like the Butte, obviously, but I just think if you've got that many fighters, you're going to get lucky on a few of them. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
It's not through fucking... Like, obviously, Eddie did put the money up to get Butte, so you got to give him that one, but he's got to put the money up for someone, otherwise no cunt will watch boxing.
He was a different promoter when he brought Butte over on free TV. He's not the same promoter anymore. He's realised how easy it is to sell to these monks who will literally pay.
He deliberately overpaid his own boxer. Deliberately overpaid his own boxer to make sure that a unification fight over here couldn't happen. That is how fucking snide he is. Deliberately. He never ever takes a loss in anything, but he's taking a loss now, so he doesn't need to make a fight that the fans actually want. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
The fans I hate the fucking most. It was so obvious what Eddie Hearn had done, and then there's fans like loads and loads of them on the like Warren thing saying, yeah, but Crawler deserves 70-30. He's a massive name. He's got more Twitter followers than Flanagan. He's huge. And I was just like, these people are literally just saying what Eddie Hearn wants and is saying to them. They don't have any.
The thing about Crawler is, would Crawler be as big a name if he hadn't tried to stop those robbers?
No.
I think it was Eddie Hearn, to be honest. Whole plan to get this.
It's too perfect, isn't it? He definitely. Hearn was there with the paving slab.
Do you reckon it was Barry and Eddie? Do you?
Definitely. That's my conspiracy for the day.
After Crawler had sort of woken up and they told him the trick, Crawler asked for the TV and all the money back and all the jewellery, but Barry wouldn't get it back. that part was real. Sorry, mate. Yeah.
But that's the thing about fans that just kills me. Like when I'm reading it, I just think, what? We're fighting against a tide here. There's so many fucking spastics online.
I had a really good quote on this because I was saying like, look what Hearn is doing. It is so obvious. He has deliberately engineered this so he can then turn around and say, well, Frank can't afford the purse. Deliberately engineered it. But I think what he's actually done is given Crawler sort of £500,000 or whatever it is for an 8 out of 10 fight. And now Flanagan's coming along, which is a 10 out of 10 fight, absolutely perfect fight, dream promotion, same school, same town, all this stuff. And he's now saying, well, this is a 10 out of 10 fight, so Crawler needs double that. And he's just raised the ceiling to a level that, no one apart from Heyman could probably pay. And
he said it.
It's not well. Yeah.
He said it in the interview. He said, well, I know Frank Warren won't let his fighters, his big names, and Flanagan's one of his 2 or 3 biggest names, really. I know he won't let him fight on Sky, but Frank Warren sent him the fucking thing saying he will let him fight on Sky in a joint promotion. Yeah. And it just seems like Eddie's not willing to move even a tiny bit. No. Whereas Frank's at least fucking trying because he knows that this is one of his biggest fights he can make.
Hearn genuinely sees, you can tell by the way he speaks, he genuinely sees Warren's willingness to compromise as being a weakness. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact that Warren is willing to meet him halfway, well, that's because he's weak. A guy who's really doing his job wouldn't compromise even 1%. And it's like, you'll never get anything done if you don't compromise at all. And then
Well, you've got the two. You've got Eubank. Sorry, he's done it with Eubank and Saunders as well. Like, obviously, fair enough. You've got to look after yourself, so you're signing him up. But he's effectively stopped 2 big domestic fights by being a bit underhand, or he's never thinking about the fan and what fights people want to see and will it be easier. He's always thinking about his fucking pockets and how he can look good in the fucking PR. Fucking
and every good promoter, obviously, Aram's greedy, Heyman's greedy. They all want money, but also there's an element of not rewarding the fans, but taking the fans into consideration. Whereas Hearn, it's just a race to the bottom of how low can we go while still charging 16 quid for a pay-per-view, while still charging 60 quid a month for Sky, whatever. And Cal, what you said earlier about got perfect example of a similar thing that happened to me. We were arguing about Crawler Flanagan, and I think I'd said something like, I can't believe you've got 2 guys from the same school, same town, same division, both world champions, and they're not going to fight each other. And it's because, they're arguing over the purse split. And one guy went, well, and some guy replied to me and said, well, to be fair, Crawler's the bigger name. He deserves more of a split. And I said, I don't give a shit if it's 50-50 or not. I just want it to happen. And I said, don't you want it to happen? The guy genuinely said, not if it's 50-50.
Who was it?
Priority.
Tell us who it was.
That Crawler got an extra 10% in negotiations, and if that wasn't going, literally, it's like these guys are. If this was Russia, I'd swear it was like Putin putting people in social media. Do you know what I mean? To try and the way they get those fake accounts on Russian internet where they're all
fucking disgusting,
supporting the president on forums and stuff. I'd swear that Hearn was doing that with Twitter users, just getting these fucking idiots who their priority is to defend Matchroom's balance rather than support a good fight. It's mental.
I've got next one's just. He says, like everyone have one answer. If you had a free punch on Joe Gallagher or Eddie Hearn, who would you choose? But we'll just open it up to anyone in boxing. If you've got a free punch, no repercussions, just hit them as hard as you fucking want. Who would you go? So Brian, you're first. Only one.
Right. So have you seen that punch for the baseball game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, mate, that was good.
Fucking vicious, right? So, that's a good one. That's a good question. That who asked that?
Luke Booth.
2 tickets coming your way, Luke. Coogan, don't send him your tickets.
That's a good question, Coogs. Put him down for 2 tickets.
I'm going to give Matt Bowes an extra 27 tickets, Coogs. Did you say I'm trying to pay Bowes off at the end of that video?
I'm going to say, I've not listened to it, but I know that fucking Sam is. Are we going to go into that after this?
Yeah, I've got one more question, I think.
I've got an answer for that one if no one else has.
Go.
I would smack. I don't actually want to knock the guy out, but I'd punch Paul Smith in the back of the head as hard as I can.
I don't think you would knock him out.
No. I don't want to suck a bunch of him. I don't want to break his nose. I just want to annoy him. So I'd punch him in the back of the head as hard as I can.
I've got Charlie Edwards.
Yeah, picking on the 7-stone rat.
Does it need to be a punch?
That little pig face, I can't stand
it. Kick him off the wall, whatever. But
could you do on Game of Thrones where the mountain gets hold of the python, and he just could do that to Joe Gallagher? Because I'd do that.
Can I smack Paul Smith while he's carrying something really hot that he would spill on himself?
Yeah.
Right, that's my answer. When he's carrying like a vat of chip grease or something.
Rocco, are you here?
What, is that his pre-weigh-in snack?
Yeah, exactly. On his way to the weigh-in.
Terry.
Hello.
Hey, mate. Got a good question for you. Just anyone in boxing, you're allowed to punch.
I just heard that, yeah. I don't know. Liam Smith, I don't like him. Miserable cunt. Miserable looking cunt, isn't he? Listen, I've got a question for you, right? Did you see what's his name, Ellie Balsack interview with Floyd the other day?
No.
Well, he had an interview with Floyd, and Badu Jack was there, and he sort of roped him into it, and he said, "Oh, yeah, my man, he's going to the UK to an easy defence against the other champion." So obviously DeGale, he's going over there to get the big money. I think he said September. So there's talk of this Matchroom versus Thingy Bob Card, and I heard Fielding and Jamie on Love and all that. But when he said, "Oh, he's going over there to make the money and fight the gal, and I'm thinking, well, surely that would be on that card then. And
Yeah.
if so, how's he going to get big money going over there unless it was a pay-per-view?
I think
Well, it's going to be a pay-per-view.
It's going to be pay-per-view, but I think they're going to have to. I don't think the girl's that popular against Badu Jack. Rocky Fielding. They're both good fights. Like I'm interested to see both. But who else have they even got? They've got Mickey Bay.
Yeah, is he the lightweight? And they're talking about
Right?
Campbell.
Could he fight against Crawler in a defence or something? I don't fucking know. It's not going to be a stunning pay-per-view, is it? You won't be like.
He could bring Mikey over here now. He's got Mikey Garcia as well, couldn't he?
Well,
Mikey Garcia's gone.
Yeah, he's signing with Floyd.
Rumoured.
Because he was.
I think he's going to promote himself.
Mikey Garcia was there. Because I don't know where they was interviewed.
Floyd was at Garcia's gym yesterday as well.
I don't know where this interview was the other day, but Robert Garcia was there, and Floyd was blowing smoke up his arse.
It was that Showtime card on Friday night, Terry.
Was it? But then
Yeah.
it showed them walking around. It looked like they was walking through like a Las Vegas hotel, and there was the big cunt like Floyd's bodyguard, and there was like his entourage, and there was him and that Mikey Garcia and Robert Garcia, and he was blowing smoke up both their arses, and they was walking around, and Robert Garcia looked like the sort of like fat unpopular kid at school who'd been invited to go out to the chip shop with the cool kids, and he was like bowling round like, yeah, fucking look at me, I'm with Floyd. Do you know what I mean? But
You
yeah,
speaking
no.
about your own lifestyle, Rocco.
Sorry?
No, never mind.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I didn't hear what you said anyway.
Yeah, how about Mikey Garcia versus Stephen Smith on this card then?
Garcia's he's too good for fighting Euro level guys.
What are you on about? He's world level. You not see him against Pedraza, he's world level. You know how this works.
Lost 9 or 10 rounds.
Yeah, you know how this works.
I think Smith's going WBC, isn't he? And is that still Vargas, or has he been stripped? I don't know.
No, he's still got it.
Vargas will beat the piss out of Smith. Honestly, that's not. He could beat him with one hand. Like, what are they doing? For fuck's sake, they should. Why can't he just be like Smith? Would probably be a really good British champion. Why don't they just have him at that? Winning really impressively. Why do they have to? Send him off to America every 3 months to get his ass kicked.
All four brothers need to cheat their way to a world title.
And not one of them with one man.
They all need that regular belt.
It's so annoying that Liam Smith got that belt. Honestly,
I'm not classifying that until he fights a guy that's in the top 10.
Or a guy whose name I can actually pronounce.
How is that lad he's fighting next even in the top 15? That boggles my mind. Like, he hasn't fought. I don't think he's fought a 12-rounder since he fought Sturm. Got beaten by Sturm like 4 years. Got comfortably beaten by Felix Sturm. Honestly, would you support it if Liam fought Paul Smith on pay-per-view? Would you buy that for a tenner, let's say?
I'd support the ring collapsing and both of them suffering horrific injuries.
You know how that punch where you hit them with the bottom of your hand, if you're that karate fucking thing, and you hit them in the nose and breaks their nose and kills them.
They both land at the same time.
Aye. Well, not Liam, because Liam is a nasty bastard. I don't badmouth Liam, because I know he's the sort of guy that will get me and kick my cunt in, but Paul Smith's a fat cunt. Fuck you, Paul Smith. And I know fucking that wee swan boxing is listening to the pod, even though he keeps bitching all the time, you wee weirdo fucking stalker. Go and tweet them that I said that, you wee fucking knob. I hope you fucking die and all, you wee cunt. You fucking stupid wee fucking trolling Twitter page, you wee fucking dick.
I've just got some good news.
Yeah, go on.
People of the MVP community. I've got a ticket for Ireland, Sweden. Hey.
Nice.
Man with Fallon's going to that.
I know, yeah. I said I'd meet him, but I was going to go down anyway without a ticket. But someone's just texted me saying that they've got one for me.
So why are you not going to England?
What?
Because he's Irish.
So I don't want to get
by his accent.
I don't want to get fucking blown up against Russia.
Come on.
Well, Irish, you don't want to get blown up. Sorry, I don't follow.
We got any more questions?
Yeah, one more. One sec. Carry on talking about blowing people up if you want.
Kell Brook's a poof. Paul Smith's a fat bastard.
Oh yeah, this one's quite a good one from Mark actually. Who is the dream guest for the podcast going forward? So, who, like, if we could get anyone, like, make it realistic, but who would you want, Brian?
Al Heyman's coming on next week.
Who would I want to guest host it?
No, who would you want as a guest on the pod? Like, if we could get anyone in the next 50 shows, let's say, who would you pick?
Smith. Paul Smith. Honestly, I'd love it. I'd be so starstruck.
I'm trying to think of somebody fucking really stupid. Somebody like Victor Ortiz, he's dumb as fuck. You'd be like have to say anything. You'd have to deal, wouldn't you?
You could we could ask Andy could ask him about Paddy McCourt, and he'd say like, yeah, man, Paddy, yeah, good guy. I sparred with that guy.
He really caught $20.
Paddy McCourt iced Victor Ortiz in sparring, just so you know.
And that is that.
Or maybe that guy, you know that guy that fucking Graham's always like tweeting that mad Bible basher that hates blacks and all that? Get him on.
Angel Garcia. Angel Garcia, there you go.
What about Ray Pop?
Ooh. It'd be nice.
Ray
Well, we had a
Pop
question
blocked
off.
my 2 accounts on Twitter. You think we'd have a lot in common?
I had a question off Matt Bowes actually, which related to
that's what I want to ask you. Did fucking Hearn give Bowes tickets to Joshua fight?
Yeah.
Mate, he gave him like 5 tickets. He got double or triple, you know, the usual number.
What was his question?
Did it
One sec.
Joshua fight though?
Who's the UK's #1 paedophile based on skill alone?
Me.
Oh, Shipman, surely. Oh no, actually he wasn't a pedo, was he?
Bob
It's
Shannon.
Sorry for
Fred-
slandering Shipman.
I know they come as a double act, but I like Fred and Rose West being from the West Country. I got a lot of time for them. I know they're deceased now. They're one of the West's finest exports.
They were skillful landscape artists.
They would have been at the Lee Askins fight, definitely.
They were back in the news last week as well.
Because they're innocent.
I know.
Some pub they used to knock around, and he was a pedo as well. So they're digging up his garden. So they was teaching others as well. They passed on their skill, and that's what I like to see.
Note how Sam pretends he doesn't know which pub it is. Oh, just some pub. I've never been there.
You see, the reason I respect Ted Bundy so much is because it was the full package. He wasn't announced until he was spiraling out of control, where he just kidnapped a Wayne, right? But see, before that, he already had a Stookie, kidnapped a bird, tied her onto a wall, kidnapped another bird, made her lie down, pumped the bird in front of the bird that was tied up, and gave the man in with a slab. That was fucking magic, man.
Hashtag boxing.
That's not the day we box. Was that a boxing question? But Ted Bundy, what a guy, man. He used to fucking just stand at the back of people's houses and chug the heat off it. And then
Yeah, but he didn't have a wife that was helping him.
No, she didn't know nothing about it, but he used to tell her to play dead when he was shagging her, man, and you'd see her line playing dead, he's like pure, just pure shooting his load, because obviously because he's into necrophilia, isn't he? Fucking madness, man. I can't believe they packed his arse and electrocuted him. He should still be alive, isn't he? Anyway.
And anyway, thanks a lot for the questions. thanks a lot for the questions, loyal listeners.
What was the question? Why the fuck did they give him Joshua tickets? Does that mean he's been bought off?
What was his question?
His question to her, he sent her like 4. They weren't nice questions. They were all like basically slating him.
He got mugged off, didn't he, in the answer?
And then Hearn was saying like, I don't know why he's fallen out with me and all the boxers. So he was trying to say that all the boxers don't like him because he don't like Hearn, which is ludicrous. But and then he said it another time during the one I've only seen the second part. He said it again, like Matt Bowes has fallen out with everyone. I don't know why.
Yeah, he kept saying it. Yeah.
There's no cult anymore. Blah de blah. And then right at the end he said, actually, I give Matt Bowes 18 tickets for Joshua fight, VIP, out of my pocket, because Joshua owns the show.
Yeah, he said right at the end, Bowes had already got 2 tickets for his question, and then he went at the end, you might make sure you send another couple of tickets to Matt Bowes. And he was like, but he tries to make out it's a joke, but he's just literally trying to buy his silence.
No, but How's this to Joshua fight? I thought it was for Burns and the Bellew fight.
No, he said at the beginning he was going to give tickets to Burns or Bellew, and then he went, but if you give me a fucking knockout question, I'll give you 2 tickets. And then at the end, Coogan was like, who's getting Joshua tickets? And he went, give him to Bose, didn't he? So that's how
I think Mark won tickets for Glasgow, and I think someone else won tickets. Did you win some, Jake?
No, TJ.
No.
TJ, I don't know. Oh, that's a fuck.
TJ, BJ, whatever we call him, he won one.
Yeah, BJ got some. Yeah. And I think Mark got a couple, didn't he?
Yeah,
Mark got.
Right, guys, I'll kick us off on the next topic because I've been getting my records up. We're going to go through just as a sort of thank you to everyone who's listened for the last 50 episodes, and it's not quite. It's probably 8 months or something since we started the show, but we've had some. Gradually, the comments section has developed into a lovely little community of boxing fans who just want to, get together and appreciate the fact that we do this show for free in our spare time, and to say thank you and to sort of share their positive views on the world. So I thought we'd go through and read. Some of these are amazing.
Hold on, boys, hold on. Just before you go on, guess who's following Matt Bowes?
Hearn?
Yes.
Yeah, of course he is.
You sleazy bastard.
Doesn't he follow you, Brian?
No, he's muted me now because he says that there's only so many times you can go on your account and see somebody calling you a cunt.
It is true. You do say it quite a lot. He said in that video, by the way, he's muted about 2,000 accounts. So I'm sure he's muted. He definitely muted me. I know he's muted Ainsley. Right. So anyway, we've got a few comments, and yeah, please guys go through and dig some of them up while I'm reading these off. But I'll try and do them in chronological order because it was around December time when the comment section started to grow a life of its own. One of the earliest shows was after episode 23, which is on December, the title of which was just Ismael Barroso TBE. And the single comment under that video is Desmond 1934, who just simply says, fuck's sake. Which I think is a good way to start off the show. And very in tone with the mood. We then had another highlight after the Quig Frampton card when you guys did a live show, I think, on the Saturday night. And a comment that just simply says, you can tell Cal is trying his hardest to say he doesn't hate black people. That's all I have listened to that show. I've got no idea what the context of that is, but
I can believe that.
I remember what Carl said something, and I went, "That's a bit harsh."
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, and then guys, please dig up your own. I've got another one from April from my favourite Mike Morrell, who's a long-time listener, big fan of all the panelists, who simply says, "Fuck off, Shep."
We get a lot of them.
Yeah, that's the best rated comment from that particular show. It's got the most thumbs up.
Here's one. This one is from Connor Hinchcliffe, and it says, just look at the state of Brian, lives with his mum, like Scott Quigg, looks like Johnny Vegas, and probably smells like a minge after being finger blasted by Tim Bradley, selling perfume on a night out in a toilet. Brian, have you got the one where someone calls you a predatory homosexual?
I can't get my computer up there now.
I can't find that one. It's from the last month, that one.
Oh, that was brilliant.
It was when he had the handlebar moustache thing.
No, I think it just said, Brian, it's like a fat, sweaty, predatory homosexual.
It was the word predatory that made it so funny. It was like a really specific word in the middle of this rant. I found a nice one this is from episode 48. So that was the post-fight for Khan Canelo, wasn't it? After the Crawler card. It just says, this is from James Bennett, listen to that northern tramp Ainsley. He will get cut. That's a promise. Ainsley. Our listeners, really, they are They are. I'll be honest. They're the scum of the earth. They really are. If you actually,
I fucking hate our listeners.
I hate them.
That podcast, me and Ainsley had a fallout about that one in the morning after. I was listening to it in bed, and I heard Ainsley say he wanted Sash to get raped by the Mexicans at ringside.
Oh, that's right.
And he was like, and he was like, I didn't say that. So I recorded him saying it and then just left the chat.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm trying to find this Brian one. I've got.
I was looking earlier on. I think they deleted it.
There's one. This is from the April 21st show.
We were a crack at that as well.
Yeah, that was a good show. We got over 2,000 views on that one. Was that when Coogan was on? Actually, maybe. No. Yeah. We've got. There are a few good comments under that one. We've got. I love how Shep always sounds like he's on edge, thinking about what these lower class cunts are going to say next. He definitely looks down on the rest of the panel. That's from Crom, who's a big fan of ours. And then the comment below that is it just me, or does Brian look like Fat Hitler? That's all it is. Brilliant. No question mark, nothing. Oh, Ainsley's actually replied to a few on this thread. Oh dear. It's all kicking off. Has anyone else got any other good ones?
I'm just looking through my screenshots now because I normally screenshot
them. But I just want to say, in terms of sort of looking back on the pod since we started, genuinely, the stuff I'm most proud of is the fact that some of the catchphrases and the nicknames we've made up now get posted under IFL vids. And I'm honestly, when I saw Professor Krusty Neck posted under a Callum Smith video the other week, one of the proudest moments of my life. And like the guys who are making jokes about dogs under Gallagher videos, it's fantastic to see they are like our children in a way, to see your children grow up and go out into the world.
That's the legacy there.
And I hope people are shouting PCN, Krusty at Callum Smith in 10 years' time.
Hashtag PCN.
If there's a banner that says PCN and Callum Smith looks up at it on his way to the ring and just thinks, what the hell does that mean? And I will think, I was there, Callum. I was there and I defined your career. And yeah, obviously Tesco Joe is... I mean, that's used worldwide now, isn't it? And that was Ainsley's.
That's Ainsley trademark, isn't it?
That's fantastic. Honestly, it's such a good nickname. And it's a shame Alex isn't on tonight because he's come up with a few in his time as well. Have we got any more comments, guys? Or
we had some quite funny ones about Tom, but we'll leave them.
Who's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Tom.
Burn in hell.
I do like it occasionally when you'll get a guy who is clearly from like a very specific part of the country and will just go mad if we criticise a particular fighter. Like this guy left this rant because one of us criticised Stuart Hall, and he was basically saying like, "Have some fucking respect, Stewie Hall."
Yeah.
But it was so funny. Like it's such a specific thing to get annoyed about, just because we shit on 100 fighters every single show, and he got the one that sent him over the edge was when we criticised Stuart Hall.
Can I just shout out Big Ben? He leaves interesting comments every single video.
Big Ben hasn't been... Oh, no, he's on. No, this is 2 weeks ago.
He's the EDL guy from Stoke.
Yeah.
He tries to...
To be honest, I've never gone down to the Midlands section of that group. I'm just Yorkshire, but if we ever come down, I'll give you a shout.
Ben will... Big Ben will try and make a serious point, about a discussion topic that we raised, but then it'll always turn into just swearing at us.
No, this is it. I found it, Shep. It's not on our video, but this is when I found the PC headline, right?
Yeah.
Crawler is it's obviously someone taking a piss. Crawler is the best lightweight in the world. Brook is the best welterweight in the world. Joshua is the best heavyweight in the world. And Professor Krusty Neck is the best super middleweight in the world. Okay, Eddie, whatever you say. Dirty Derry beat and Drew with the best in the world. Yeah, okay, mate, thanks.
So that must be... I'm going to say that's a Scouser who has adopted the Professor nickname for Callum Smith. So yeah, I'm really proud of that, genuinely.
PCN is better than Mundo, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Smith guys have proven that they can't give themselves nicknames, so we've got to do it for them. Yeah.
I thought his nickname was Autism. Well, he's got it across his
They've
short
all got
sleeve.
the same.
That's the name of his kid, isn't it? Yeah.
God.
Little autism.
That's a fine joke. A stand-up comedian could make that joke. It's clever.
Like 2 weeks ago, I would like to walk away from that such comment and do not include me in this, Liam Smith.
Oh, I've got one. Shep. Question mark. Sorry, but this guy is horrendous. I think he's talking about Ainsley. Poor knowledge, poor insight, poor delivery, mumbling and fumbling his way to irrelevant points. The panel in general is so weak. One of these guys can't even be asked to watch the fights.
That was Brian, definitely.
That's most weeks, isn't it?
That's quite a good one.
We're too hardcore to watch boxing.
The problem, we get shat on if we bullshit, but then if we're honest and say we didn't see a fight, they get angry. So you can't win with these people.
Just as well we didn't do a pod Monday. I didn't even watch. I watched one round, and I still got 7 points in the prediction league.
Well, it's all been achieved this week, mate. To sort the men from the boys this weekend. Right, have we got any more, guys, or should we call it a wrap? Because it's a shame that episode 50's fallen on a pretty quiet week for fights. But
Whoa! We haven't even touched on Heyday 2, boys.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Jake, I assume you're travelling down to London for that one, yeah?
Oh, I can't fucking wait.
Did you manage to get a ticket? I heard it it's sold out in minutes.
Am I fucked onto that shit?
I heard it money. Weren't they giving free gloves out, free signed gloves if you bought a ticket the other day?
Oh,
hey, we're just signing away.
Lethal Bizzle's performing.
Chinky's got a big fuck off dick.
Who?
I bet he's fucking packing, man.
He's a bit of a ladies' man, so he probably is.
Aye, I think that's how he's back, because he's been caught necking about with his woman in it, and she's obviously going to take him to the cleaners.
He famously, I think, got off with like Jennifer Lopez or something. That's the anecdote, like in a club once, something like that.
So Craig David shagged that bird out of fucking Modern Family. That's Sophie Vergara, whatever you call her.
Craig David.
What?
Aye, Craig David. And he dumped her to fucking
Don't-
blue bag.
Don't make any jokes about Aisha, guys, just because she looks exactly like Craig David.
Oh my god.
God.
You sexist fucking.
I don't think she listens anymore anyway. So
It is quite.
Doesn't listen,
It's
yeah.
quite amazing we've made it 50 episodes in it, like all the squabbles and that we have on a daily basis trying to get the podcast organised.
I thought Shannon Briggs
think
was
of-
fighting Dimitrenko.
Think about the pods we could have done if we
No, he's
actually
fighting a guy
did
whose
them
box
when we
rec
said
fault
we
has
was going to
nipple
do
rings
them.
in.
Sorry, what did you say, Sam? Say again.
Think of how many pods we'd be on if we did a pod every time we say we'd do one. We'd be on about 102. At least twice a week we say we're doing a pod and then we never do one.
See if
Put it out on
we
the-
didn't
on the
do
Well,
this.
it's not been a good 8 months for fights though. In our defence, like it's been a really weak period in the sport. Like they're not giving us much to work with. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you left at one point. Brian left at one point.
I left. Brian was fired. Let's make that very clear.
Lols.
You was fired. You lost a poll.
Was not fired.
Yeah, be honest, the mob fucking took you out.
Mate,
Yeah, we parked you.
Look, I'm not saying the mob
was a mutiny.
support my decision, but I definitely quit.
You were too middle class. You were looking down on us all, and we just fucking took you behind the fucking bike sheds and put a bullet in your head.
Brian was too predatory with me. I couldn't deal with it. But yeah, no, we're all back together now. What's funny is that since we've stopped arguing amongst ourselves, Ainsley has lost all will to be involved in the pod. He just loves, some people just love the chaos, don't they? But, yeah.
I had to
Every
leave
day.
the WhatsApp chat because Ainsley was pure raging all the time. And every time I was getting up for work in the morning, he was kicking off, and it was pure dragging me down. I was like, I can't deal with this. It's even too much hate. It's too much hate for me. I'm totally suffering. I was getting into work fucking raging.
It got to the point where, like, every afternoon, Ainsley would be like, seriously, the next guy I see, I'm just going to lay him fucking I'm raging. He's so angry.
I'm joking. Just get into work and just put the head clear in something.
Yeah, the next guy who speaks to me, I'm going to give him a square go. I'm going to offer him a square go.
I'm pretty sure he was like, I'm joking to come to Liverpool and fucking square go Paul Smith.
He was up for it. And then,
It's not even that team, man. See if he had to fight somebody like Paul Smith, he'd beat us with a miss. It's just jab. Oh.
We've
had a new path now.
We've had a good run, and someone actually asked a question: how many did we think we'd do when we set it up? Which I thought was quite good. I thought we'd do about 3.
Yeah, I don't think as many people would listen, and we'd all get bored of it. Do you know what I mean? It would take a lot more effort to get the listeners up. But we had, we always had a few hundred listening every week, so it felt like there was actually an audience for it. So it's good, and we sort of established ourselves fairly quickly, I think.
I think.
And now you can look forward to
another 15
viewers
episodes.
they can look forward to their 0.5 episodes now with Shep
Yeah,
reading from the
exactly.
book as well.
Remember
tonight was complaining about the fact that there were other panelists on and I wasn't doing story time.
Remember when we started the pod, the listing figures at Asylum started dropping, and Smiddle was going fucking crazy every week, calling us scumbags and all that.
The best.
And now they're begging.
Saying that we'd stole all our panelists. I mean, you want about me and Rocco would phone up as though if we were a panelist.
Also, there was a period when we would discuss a fight, and Adam Smith would say, like, well, we discussed that fight, so you're just ripping us off. And it was like, mate, for fuck's sake, the Asylum doesn't own, like, every fucking panel discussion. But yeah, I think we live together in harmony now, don't we, like, by and large? Yeah.
Tommy's a big fuck-off prick.
Don't you think the who's that the Deacon of the Week when they all fucking lost their mind? And I said, new segment on the show, Deacon of the Week, and you lot, I were at fucking York Races and I had about 70 fucking messages saying, take that off, they're all raging. I was like, fucking hell, why are they so bothered? And then apparently we were calling it the Deacon list, so we were ripping them off with a new name instead of actually just taking the whole name. So that was probably my favourite day. I watched the first race, looked down at my phone, get it off. Andy Patterson's fucking raging. I'm like, fucking hell, fire.
It was good.
To be fair, the best feature in podcasting world is the hot list.
I agree.
Frank Buglioni this week, isn't it?
Yeah, every week.
Yeah, we need to. I've got to start writing down who was on the hot list the week before, because I always forget, and then we forget.
It was just good-looking blokes the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Who was the good looking? The lad from was it Robin Reed or someone we had on there? He's a handsome chap, isn't he?
Well, his jaw straight.
That got seriously mixed reviews, man. There was obviously the proper homophobes that I think if you joke about being a poof, man, they're absolutely disgusted. They were fucking raging about that.
Brian, you said last week you'd like to sit in the middle of Get Happier and Lemieux and just suck the two bobbies right off.
Yeah, it's quite funny making the listeners uncomfortable about stuff. They're just scum, basically, like I said earlier. It's good to make them squirm occasionally.
Oh, it's not even that. Sam, see if people were watching it on YouTube, I was actually doing the hand signs and everybody suck a dick and put on mouths. Lovely.
You are a predatory homosexual.
I fucking take anything.
But right, does anyone have anything to say about Hay, just to finish it off or not? I to be honest, I'm not going to watch. I probably won't watch the fight then. I don't.
Okay, I'm actually. I shot on the cruiserweight division, right? But I'm actually looking forward to the Lebedev fight because I think that guy can take punishment, but he is actually a decent boxer when he wants to. So there is a bit about him. I can't stand Huck. I just think he's just a guy that's just going to windmill. Right, but Lebedev, there's a bit more to him, and Ramirez is dog shit. If he doesn't get stopped, oh fuck knows what. But I'm looking forward to that. I mean, that card should have still been on Box Nation. That's a fucking disgrace. That's not on Box Nation.
Oh, I've got a good one. Remember when De Gale the other week come out with all that shit about Eddie Hearn? Say like he was like proper like salty with him, like basically saying that he's.
It was to do with Joshua tickets.
Right, someone's just tweeted
saying,
how likely is it that Eddie allegedly fell out with De Gale over Joshua tickets, but he's giving them to Bose for free?
That's a fucking joke.
So he's just ruined like a multi-million-pound contract with De Gale just to give him to Bose to keep him happy.
That's what it's about. What is it? Like De Gale wanted 3 or something like that, and Hearn only offered them 2. And I was like, they've actually fell out over fucking 1 ticket. And then he's dishing out freebies. And he ringside?
I'm not sure.
I don't think they were ringside, no. But yeah,
Why
he
the
fell out with
fuck-
De Gale over like 500 quid.
Why the fuck would you want to go down to London to watch fucking Joshua v Brazil anyway?
No.
But anyway, yeah. Is anyone going to watch Hay? Or
Yeah, I'll watch
watch
it.
it.
If I'm in, I'll watch it. It's on proper normal telly, innit? Fucking flip over to it. I wouldn't stay in to watch it. Don't get me wrong, but if it's better than fucking The Voice or whatever X Factor shite in it.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, I'm really not. Is anyone on the undercard? Isn't it?
Shannon the Cannon.
Is it Markham, who had a good fight with Buglione? He's fighting someone.
Lethal fucking Bizzle's performing there, for fuck's sake. To sell tickets.
Who is that?
Okay.
I can't even fucking picture who that is now. Lethal Bizzle.
How? You don't know about me.
I don't know, because fucking Tiny Temper's playing with Amin Ibiza.
What time is he starting? Because you need to get your sleep, mate. You need to be in bed by
I'll take a line and I'll go to sleep.
When are you actually off, Brian? People need to wish you well.
September the 12th. I'm over in Ibiza for fucking Mexican weekend, so what should have been like Golovkin absolutely fucking decapitating Canelo doesn't look as if it's happening. So I hope my boy comes back for #50.
Against Conor McGregor.
That will fucking imagine
Oh
that.
my god.
See, if he did fight Conor McGregor, I'd fucking troll to the ends of time because people would be livid. Amazing.
You'd still
It's a
go
win.
to that as well, wouldn't you?
Oh, it's a win.
I'd love to hear Ainsley's take on that fight.
Oh, no, you don't. He's fucking.
You might be able to get him out of retirement for that one. Yeah.
Ainsley.
Oh, he was going on about the sparring footage of Conor McGregor the other day with Van Heerden. That was funny, you know. He was raging then.
You got a 6-second clip of McGregor trying to throw a jab, sending him off the edge. Well, thank everyone for listening as always, and we'll continue on. There will be auditions for a replacement for Ainsley in the short term.
What do you think? How do you think Jake's got on? He was first in line.
Let's see what the comments say. They're very forgiving, Jake.
I know they're all like loving people and they're very kind.
So anyone that leaves a comment, can you just like give us a mark out of 10 for Jake, and we'll decide in the future whether he's good enough.
It's
this is going to be horrible.
Your feedback's really valuable to us, seeing as none of you pay anything.
Leave us a fucking review on iTunes as well. Good or bad. We don't give a
Fuck
shit,
the
just
Queen and
leave
the
one.
UDA.
Right,
Yeah.
cheers, guys.
Fuck off, Huns.
Fred West,